We got some of the best book titles out here I've ever seen, some of the best African artwork, some of the best jewelry, some of the best incense, some of the best sage. Don't leave here. I'm asking you, don't leave here without patronizing at least 3 vendors. And let's build some black power with your black dollar. Please donate as much as you can. We're almost done with this school. And I think we have just enough to finish it. But we haven't even begun to build for this one. We will be able to host any conference. We'll be able to host any seminar, any retreat. I can't wait till we host the first annual International Black Women's Conference. I can't wait till we host the first annual International Black Men's Conference. I can't wait till we host the Black Wall Street Conference, the Black Vendors Conference, the Black Entrepreneurial Conference, the Black Farmers Conference, the Black Youth Conference, the Black Media Conference. And for those of us who know Africa as home, I can't wait till we host the Black Repatriation Conference.
Give them some, push it up, Doc, so they can get more.
Yeah.
I told you I was the Lion King.
That was perfect.
Okay, do not shoot at the drone. That is my videographer. Where the child at? Bring the child up here. Where the child at? Where the child at? Bring the baby. The baby missing? Come on up with the baby. Phone number. Thank you, Queen. We have a baby up here. Who's baby? Come on up, Natalie. We got a young brother. He's okay though, right?
Yeah, he was sleeping.
Okay, about 2 years old maybe. He was over there sleeping. Who left the baby? Give it a minute. I think the mom or dad, they probably smoking some weed. They'll be back. Just give them a minute. I think the mom or dad, they probably smoking some weed. They'll be back. Just give them a minute. I think the mom or dad, they probably smoking some weed. They'll be back. Just give them a minute.
All right, Cookie Crush Chat, thank you so much for tuning on in. It's going to be a quick live stream today. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. Cookie Crush Chat's all undefeated. Let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this.
It's coming. FDMG. It's coming. 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 Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning on in. Creel said tax evasion tacos. That's going to be on Umar's menu for his Black Vegan Sports Bar, non-alcoholic. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Creel, for tuning on in to one of the OGs from way, way back in the day. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. We're going to get right on into it. Every time I say we're going to have a quick show, we get caught up, and then we be here for months. But I really want to get into this. This is a little bit different because I normally don't cover Umar when he's being interviewed. However, Dear Woke Christian, he changed his YouTube name. I can't remember what it is now, the new one. But he sent me a link to this and said that at a certain point, Umar really starts to talk reckless, sexual depravity stuff. And he said that I should check it out. And I said, okay, I will check it out. What I'll do is I'll just cover it. So what we're going to do for that particular interview, which was, I think it was about maybe from a week and a half ago, we'll just go to the segment right before Umar starts to talk crazy and reckless, and then we'll watch it to the end. So we shouldn't be here that long. I want to thank everyone for all of the support, and the numbers have been skyrocketing. I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you so much. If you're new here, welcome. Even if you're Umar Johnson follower, welcome. We're not here to bash you. We're here to get to the truth, and that's what it comes down to. Thank you, Creole Angel. Speaking of the truth, Creole Angel here, Pasta's here. She's been around from the beginning. Okay, she was around when I was a broke bum. So thank you for hanging in there with me, sis. I appreciate it. Okay, what's up, Swag? Home Southern Cooks and Bobby. I thought Swag Onito's in the building. Vision, thank you. Salute to you as well. I appreciate it. Everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. How's it going, Southern Kiss Melanie? Cookie Crush chat's undefeated. There is a poll question today. There's already 667 votes. What do you think about Umar's sexually explicit comments? Now, he has a history of this anyway, but we're going to get specifically into this particular interview. He has a history of this. 5% said it's not a big deal. 17% said it's concerning. 20% said it's really bad. 58% says it proves that he's a nasty freak. Okay. And in my opinion, Umar is a nasty freak. Okay, real talk. It is what it is. Okay, so make sure you get your vote in on the poll during this live stream. And if at any point during this live stream you're enjoying yourself, make sure you hit that like button. That's one of the reasons why these numbers have gone up, because y'all been very gracious with the likes. So if you enjoy the show at any given point, take you 2 seconds, hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, and we rocking and rolling. We're gonna take the rock out, because that's what Umar, you be saying that. We don't condone that type of behavior. All right. Smitty Boy sent in the super chat, said, Uncle Lennon, my birthday just passed. Can I get the rent so I can start blocking Umar spammers? Okay, I gotta find you in the chat room in order to do that. So happy birthday. Let's give Smitty Boy, if you can comment again, and I'll hit you up with a wrench. Smitty Boy, everyone, if we can give Smitty Boy happy birthday wishes. Okay, congratulations on that, and thank you for the super chat, sir. I appreciate it. And then Miranda says, hey, Leonard and Quick Chat, got my yeah, you might need some popcorn. You might need some popcorn for this one, because from what I heard, Umar really gets crazy with it. And he has a history of that anyway, but for whatever reason, Dear World Christian said that he was really off the top. So we're going to get into that during this live stream. Okay? All right. Thank you guys again for tuning on. Oh, I got to get in here to, 1 second. I got to get into, here it is right here. All right. Okay. And I also want to thank the mods too for handling business. You guys have done a fantastic job. What's up, James? Thanks for tuning on in. And Crystal and DJ Nichols. What's up? How you doing? Manny's in the building as well. Black Wolf. By the way, I think it was you, Black Wolf, that had asked for the video. It was I think it was you yesterday. Asked for the video of where Umar was talking about the buses and how he was going to have different buses in different states that are going to pick the children up to bring them to the school. I looked and I could not find that video. Okay, I could not find it. I have it, but I did not archive it properly, so I got to run through it at some point, and I'll run through it at some point as I continue to research and take notes for the documentary. But I do have something special for you all, Cookie Crush chat. So shout out to Lene, because she sent me a whole bunch of information, but she sent me this yesterday, and I wanted to share it yesterday, but I wanted to make sure it was okay for her to share it before I shared it here, and she said, yeah, it's fine. So I want y'all to look at this. Here we go. I don't know what to say about this. However, this is the FDMG bus, one of the FDMG buses. Okay, King Kong, Consciousness Rocks, Dr. Umar, they got him in a cape and everything, got some kids on the side towards the right end of the bus. FDMG Academy, 1865. Prince of Pan Africanism, Dr. Umar, FDMG Leadership Academy, King Kong. It got Umar standing, and there's a gorilla standing behind him. Got Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey on there. I can't read the text. I can't make the text out over there on the bus, the door to the bus. But listen, I'm not here to judge. I'm just showing it to you all. Okay. I just want to ask the quick question: if you had an opportunity to have your children ride in this bus, would you let them ride in this bus? Hit the 1 if you let them ride in this bus. Hit the 2 if you wouldn't let them ride in this bus. Okay. All right. I'm not here to judge. I'm just passing along the information. All right. Okay. Let me do these other super chats real quick, and we're gonna get right on into it. How's it going? Holly B says, "Hey, Lynn, I want to say hey to you in the cooking crush chat. I have seen a number of YouTube videos about Umar Johnson, and most people think he's scamming. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Umar now, and I would say more than ever. And that says a lot because even going back even to the conscious stripper days, I remember that was blowing up all over the place. But this most recent thing, also when he went on his daughter, there's a lot of people that started to speak out against him. But his rant against Lene, I think that took it over the top, and then people were already pissed at Umar after that, including a lot of his black women supporters, because that it's just inappropriate for him to be talking like that. So it was cool. He was cool with her when he was sexually exploiting her, but as soon as she tells the business, all of a sudden she got a fish tank. Okay, most black women don't take kindly to that and a lot of black women have had that level of abuse or even betrayal by men who, after they done dealt with them, they get upset. The man gets upset with them, then the man start talking crazy about them. See? And yeah, it can go both ways too. But see, Umar is supposed to be the black conscious leader, and he's supposed to be held to a higher standard, if you will, right? So there was people who were already upset with Umar about that, and then he comes through with this whole bank account scam, and that was it for people. For a lot of people. So it's just been building this whole year. It's been building. And then now you go on YouTube, and I don't even check Instagram or TikTok, but people tell me that they clown him over there too. There's all kinds of people talking about Umar on many different platforms. But right now, this is like it's overwhelming. I think it's very overwhelming for Umar, but this is what he gets. The chickens are coming home to roost. And I encourage people, if you have been speaking about Umar, do even more research into him, and you will find that there's so much more, even beyond this bank scam, the bank account scam, even beyond Lene, even beyond. I mean, it goes. There's so many different things that Umar has involved. He's shady, and in my opinion, he's a nasty freak. We're gonna get into that today. Okay, so yeah, a lot more people have been speaking about it, and that's great. That's great. I encourage people to. Thanks, Holly B, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Texas Diva says, I don't have popcorn, but I have my collard greens and baked chicken. That's fine. You have a meal. Sometimes you want the snacks. Sometimes you want the meal. Sometimes you want the snacks and then the meal. But as long as you have sometimes you just want the drink. Okay, but that's good. That's fine. Collard greens and baked chicken. Do your thing. Right? Thanks, Texas Diva, for the super chat. Yeah, it's like a reality show. Someone said that yesterday. So you want to have a snacks and stuff. I have my smoothies. That's what I have in my cups. I make smoothie before I start. Until it gets cold. Once it gets cold, I'll probably have tea. Daxter sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much, Daxter. D-Ski Veli says, if we respect people for what they offer in i.e. entertainment, sports, blackness, instead of idolizing people, we would have the ability to hold them accountable. This would eliminate manipulation and abuse. I agree with that. I think part of it is that Umar has been idolized, and that's the way that he has become idolized is through manipulation. As an example, Umar claims to be the Black Christ. He claims to be the Messiah, the Black Messiah. Okay, he idolizes himself. He says he's the most requested scholar. Okay, that's not true, but he does. That's idolization. It's self-worship, self-aggrandizement. Okay, he says he's a school psychologist. He's not. He says he's a school principal. He's not. He says that he's a therapist. He's not a child therapist. He's not. He says he's a family therapist. So he's not. All of that is to build this persona of idolization. He has 6 degrees. He says he has 6, but based upon what I know, he has at most he has 5. It could be less, but at most I give him credit for 5. Okay, but that's all. He's building a school. He hasn't built anything. Real quick, has anyone ever seen Umar building anything? Those buildings were sitting there long before Umar acquired them in February of 2019. So why does he say stuff like that? Well, it's for the idolization. He wants people to worship him because he's so accomplished, when in point of fact, he's a failure. See, he's failure in male-female relationships. He's failure as a father. He's a failure as a businessman. He's a failure as a quote-unquote, I don't know what you would call this, someone who's doing renovations on the building. He's a failure at that 6.5 years. See? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. He doesn't have his own home. See, he's a failure as an adult. He's a failure as a son based upon how his mother is living. So that's the truth. But Umar, he's carefully crafted over decades this persona that has manipulated people in such a way to where they idolize him. And that's the problem, because once you start idolizing people on that level, then they become, you see them as beyond reproach. And that's what I want to kind of correct in people. You know, you got to see Umar for who he is. Lene talked about this too, because people have this misconception about who he is. See? With the idolization, there's no criticism. It becomes a cult, right? Yeah. And of course, once it becomes a cult-like environment, then there's no accountability. And that's what Umar fears the most. He does not want to be held accountable for all of the women that he has manipulated financially. He doesn't want to be held accountable for all the women that he's manipulated sexually. He doesn't want to be held accountable for this school scam, right? And I'm talking about the Wilmington school scam. He's had other ones, the St. Paul school scam, the Chicago school scam, the Detroit school scam, the New York school scam, the Florida school scam, the Atlanta school scam. See, people don't know about all that. He doesn't want to be held accountable for all of the money that he's collected. Millions of dollars, in my opinion. I can prove without a shadow of a doubt $1.6 million since 2018. 2018 to 2024. I can prove that. I've already proven it, right? But my best estimate is $2.7 million as a lowball estimate. See, he doesn't want to be held accountable for that. That's why he doesn't have a board of directors for his nonprofit. See? So that's the big issue with Umar. He wants people to praise him and to idolize him so that they perceive him to be beyond reproach and they can't critique him or that they can ask questions. His followers ask questions. They've been asking a lot of questions lately. And what does he do? He goes off on them. He blocks them. And then sometimes he'll take what they post and then he'll repost it with his response. And his response is horrible. He has no respect for his followers. But see, for someone like Umar, why would he have respect for people who just adore him and idolize him? See, good. This is really good right here. Real good. Thank you, Deeski Veli, for the super chat. Diana says, I'm new here, but have you had ex-Umar fans come on and share why they changed their minds? I'd be curious where they drew the line or saw the light. Yeah, I have in the past. Information Man donated to Umar. He's an open critic. I interviewed him. He's an open critic. There's people inside this chat room, though, Diana Martinez, who used to follow Umar. And yeah, there is always this this breaking point. You know how they use that term, the straw that broke the camel's back. There's always something. And I think for a lot of people currently, that is Umar when he gets online and tells us, he starts this whole bank account freeze scam, frozen bank account scam. That was the last straw for a lot of people. There were a lot of people when Umar went on Lene, was talking real crazy and reckless. That was the final straw for a lot of people. So I just think that it's different for different people. Matter of fact, if there's anyone in the chat room and you were Umar Johnson follower before, what was the final straw for you? Just say type in final straw and then type what that is. And you'll see the answer. There's a lot of people in the chat room, whether they actually comment on this or not or respond to it or not, who used to follow Umar, but at a certain point they realized what he was all about. And there's usually that final straw that breaks the camel's back. Thanks, Diana. And I never believed in Umar. When people sent me, someone sent me something about him in 2014 on Facebook, and that's when he did the video at St. Paul's College. And they said, well, what do you think about this? And I just looked at the video, and just even back then, I didn't know nothing about Umar. I heard about him, but I didn't research him. I didn't know anything. And I knew right away that something wasn't right because he didn't have a plan. He just was asking for money. He didn't have a team. You know, he was sitting up there looking goofy. You know, I said, no, this something ain't right about this. And even back then, I knew that St. Paul school scam, that there was nothing that was going to ever come out of that. And here we are 11 years later, and nothing has come out of that. Okay? Thanks, Diana Martinez. James says that bus is from K&K and she gave him 10K. Yeah, 10,000. That's what I heard. That's what people have been saying. There's someone named K&K and she said, yeah, I think you sent me that video where she said that she donated $10,000 to Umar and got him that bus. And that would be, I'm going to assume this bus right here. Yep. Thanks, James, for the super chat. What's up, brother Dion says, what in the kindergarten paper mache is going on? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to pass the information along. That's all I'm here to do, brother, my brother. Thank you, Dion, for the super chat. Smitty Boy says, Uncle and Cooker chat, can we say this year Umar has been taking so many L's. Yeah, and we're not even through the year yet. This year, from family drama, his daughter exposing him, locked out of his account. Soon enough, he's going to lose it. Hashtag failure. He's a perpetual failure. See, it's okay to fail. I've been a failure too. It's okay, but you got to win at some point, right? You got to win. Umar, he's taking L after L after L. And we ain't even through the end of the year. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you guys wait, because watch when winter comes. Here we go. You guys watch when winter comes. When it starts getting cold up over there, you guys watch. That's when it's really gonna be bad for this guy. See, CashApp got shut down. He allegedly his bank accounts are frozen. People aren't sending him the type of money that they used to send. He owed people money, I'm sure. You wait till we get to wintertime. You notice he hasn't live streamed inside his mama closet in months. You guys notice that? Hit the one. Because we've been on that, right? And I did that video to break that down, you know, in terms of Umar when he got evicted in 2019. He's been homeless ever since. They said, well, how can you say that he's homeless and he lives with his mama? Well, the reason why he stay with his mama when he can is because he's homeless. So what are you talking about? He's not on a lease. He's living off of his mama. He don't have his own place. I should pull up that receipt right now, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it because we got to get going here. See, people try to make excuses for this guy. He's been homeless since 2019, the end of 2019, and he's not on the lease paperwork for that Section 8 housing. He's not supposed to be there, and he knows that because he admits that it's in an implicit way, like it's implied, but I know what he's saying. He's not supposed to be living there. He's supposed to be there to take care of his mama, even though he's traveling around the world. But he's not on the paperwork for that particular Section 8 housing. So he's not supposed to have residence there. And yet he's taken over the whole second floor. He's living off of his mama. Okay. So that's why I say that he's homeless, because he is homeless. He doesn't have his own home. He's 50. He's been homeless since 2019. It's about to be 6 years. In about 2 months. But of course, he's the most requested scholar, and he's King Kong consciousness, and he's Big Papa, and he's a school psychologist, and all this other shit that he's not. But I'll tell you right now, he's homeless. Anyway, yeah. So we'll see as this continues to progress, because you know we're not even to the end of the year yet, and we still, once that winter time kick in, late fall, winter, you guys watch. Mark my words. Thanks, Sweetie Boy. Jason says, no one in history has ever woke up and said, I wonder who's the most requested scholar in the Black conscious community. Yeah. That just goes to show the narcissism with Umar. Like, who even thinks of something like that? Okay, first of all, it's not quantifiable, right? And second of all, it's not true. I highly doubt that that's true, Umar. Now, if you guys going to look at Umar's schedule, I think he has like 2 things this month. And most of the time, he'd be begging other people. If you're the most requested, why are you always begging other people to find you venues? Who even thinks like that? That they're the most requested scholar? He lives in a delusional world. Really, he wants to be Marcus Garvey. He wants to be like on that level. You know, Frederick Douglass. He wants to be on Malcolm X. He wants to be Martin Luther King. He wants to be on that level, right? But he's not. You're on that level. You live in your mama closet? Deadbeat. What you talking about? See, but who thinks like that in the first place? See, that's not normal, but that's Umar. All right. Thanks, Jason, for the super chat. Let's see. Sal says the Pookie of Pan Africanism struggle buses. I'm not here to judge the bus. I ain't gonna do that because one of his followers, they actually got that bus for him. And so I don't want to do that. Okay, I understand what you're saying. But it just goes to show you Umar's influence, and he's there's people that's given him all types of things over the years. I remember people sent him jacket, sent them cologne, sent them a tablet, sent them like a Chromebook. So I think it was a tablet. They sent them shoes, you know. So I guess it's just tears to this. In this case, they sent him a bus. hey, you know. I'm not here to judge. Thanks, Sal. Let's see chat. Sweet D says, one content creators used Google Earth to look around the entire neighborhood this morning. It will shock you, the surrounding area. I know what you're talking about. The year prior to Umar purchasing these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware in February of 2019, Wilmington, Delaware was ranked 6th or 7th. I'm going to go with 6th in the nation for violent crime per capita. It's hood over there. There is some gentrification taking place, but it's hood over there. I have videos of homeless people sleeping on the steps up there. I have video of Umar. He was up there. There was a bucket where people were using it as a toilet. And there was a syringe. He moved some stuff over. There was like baby diapers or something crazy. And then he moved some stuff over. There was a syringe on the ground. That's why when Umar was up there, he saw that little white rock. That's that environment. He saw that little white rock on the steps, and he goes over and starts looking at it and fidgeting with like a dope fiend. That's the whole environment over there is like that. And I don't understand why people, I don't even know. I'll just say why Umar would think that people are going to pay $500 a month to send their children to this drug-infested, crime-infested, it's a weed and seed community, a drug-infested, crime-infested neighborhood. Pookie's walking around all over the place. That's why Umar's so comfortable up there. See? Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's hood up over there. Thanks, Sweet D. And he fits right in. He fits right in. Thanks, Sweet T. Black Wolf says, I followed Umar's idea of the school, even donated 40 to this foul, to this fool. Then I found your very first vid on Umar and switched my thought on him immediately. I did not know that. I did not know all these years. I did not know that you used to follow Umar. You donated $40. Yeah, I bet you wish you get that $40. I mean, you probably don't need it, but just the idea, you know what I'm saying? Then I found your very first vid on Umar and switched my thoughts on him immediately. All right. Well, shout out to Black Wolf. Black Wolf is one of the old OGs. And the good thing is, it's a good thing. The good thing is that you realize the truth. And then, because see what happens with a lot of people, they'll just keep holding on and keep defending Umar and keep defending Umar. And in some cases, keep donating and keep donating. And at a certain point, people got to think about that. I mean, it's like a waste of time. It's a waste of money. But Umar, he's a master manipulator. So he's still stringing people along who were following him way back then. And they know something's not quite right. But he's still stringing along to this day. And some of them are still donating to this day. Right. So it's great that you figured that out quick. I'll tell you that right now. Let's see. Black Wolf says, I want my. I hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because money is time and time is life. That's the way I look at it. Because we only have a finite amount of time. And as you get older, your time is more valuable because you have less time. Right. That's how I'll be thinking these days. So your money is your time. Right. And then your time is your life. That's how I look at this. It's unfortunate because Umar's taken a lot of life out of people. I'm just speaking from a financial standpoint. You can also look at it in terms of betraying people. That has an adverse effect on people too. He's taken a lot of people's time, right? And then there's opportunity costs associated with time that's wasted. So that's how I'll be thinking about stuff, especially these days. Thanks, Black Wolf, for the super chat, and thanks for sharing. I did not know that all these years. I did not know that. Yep. Okay, Ricochet Rose says Shamar Moore to play Lenon and Umar. Here we go. I had a guy, I said, it's not my current place where I work now, but the place I worked at before that, and he was a pastor, and he came up and he says, you remind me of Shamar. I said, man, if you don't stop. Okay, thanks, Ricochet Rose. I got an announcement on that Umar movie too. I'm just waiting to hear back from Mary Ann. Okay, so hopefully I hear back tonight, and then I'll have an announcement for everyone. I'll probably tomorrow. I don't plan on live streaming tomorrow, but I do have a video that I have lined up that's going to premiere. It's a shorter video. It's like 16 minutes or something like that. That'll premiere, and then what I want to do is to have a video premiere Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we'll reset for Monday with live streams. Okay, that may change, but that's what my plan. Because see, Umar, he was tripping. He was tripping this month. And I haven't spoke on it, and there's people who emailed me about this, and I want to thank everyone who's done that. And you guys probably already know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to give it any energy. The way that I look at it is that Umar, he did that out of desperation, but that's because we're winning. Right, real talk. And then there's a lot of other people who are criticizing him too. So he's losing. He's losing. So he's in a state of desperation, and that was his way to try to get at me. But it just doesn't work because see, I don't react emotionally. What I said, what we're gonna do is this month, my goal is to have one video up a day for this whole month, and that could be something I upload. Like tomorrow, I'll upload a video. and set it as a premiere. And I'll be in the chat room while we're watching it, or it'll be a live stream like today or like yesterday or like on Monday. That's the plan. And so what that's going to do is going to continue to apply pressure and continue to apply pressure, and more people will see these videos, and my subscribers will go up, and that's what's been happening. And then people are getting into the archive for the older videos. There's people who are signing up for memberships. So they can get into even the older videos that I've done. You see how I've turned that around? That's what you call being a strategist, as opposed to being emotionally unstable and reacting like Umar. Yeah. So I do have an announcement that I wanted to make today, but I have to hear back from Mary Ann. And hopefully she responds today or this evening. And then if she does, then I'll have something else for you guys tomorrow. All right, let's go. Thank you, Ricochet Rose. Ricochet Rose. I apologize, Derek. Okay, let's get into the video. We did good. We only went 30 minutes. Yesterday we went 2.5 hours. Then we finally got to the video. Okay, so this is the video. This is from, I want to give a shout out to Breakbeat Media. And the sister's name, the young lady's name is, she goes by Don't Call Me White Girl, and her YouTube page is Breakbeat Media. We're going to go to the 2 hour and 45 second mark, and we're going to watch it through to the end to see what happens with this. Okay, there is a poll question too, by the way. We already have 1,237 votes, 40 votes. What do you think about Umar's sexually explicit comments? 6% said no big deal, 70% said it's concerning, 21% said it's really bad, and 57% is fluctuating right here. 57% said it proves that he's a nasty freak. And this just doesn't include what we're going to be watching today. Everything else that Umar has talked about, where he's talking reckless, including his sexualized comments about children. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get into it. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. Cookie Crush chat is undefeated. Let's go.
So, brother, say, you know what, Dr. Umar, I've been reading into you. I'm getting into you, so intelligent. I feel like a lot of your principles will advance us as a community. I done married this white girl. What do I do? You say leave
when the
her.
Children, no, not if you got babies.
Okay.
As much as I don't support the bunny hop, if you had babies with women of another race, it is not those children's fault that you hate yourself. So if you're pregnant, stay with me, stay with me. Wilmington, Delaware, stay with me. And I get these questions from black men. They ask me.
Yeah.
And you know what? How old are your children? Well, you know, I got a 5, a 6, or 7. I said, brother, it's not fair.
Men have to ask you that and they got a white woman.
Yeah, Dr. Umar, I'm conscious now. I wasn't conscious. And they say, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, Ifatunde? And I tell them, I say, you got to stay in that house to the baby.
Umar's so dramatic. What you mean stay in the house? You deadbeat. He don't take care of his own kids. He got baby mamas out here. He ain't married not one woman. Anyway.
He's grown. You know why? Because if you leave that white woman, she bringing a white man in there. Do you want that white man looking at your daughter?
Right.
Do you want...
Hey, wait a minute. Umar, who are you with your nasty freak ass? Let me stop.
That white man chastising your black sons? The biggest mistake black men make when they make these babies with these non-black women is if this relationship don't work.
What are you talking about? He done flipped the whole script around. First he was talking about, anyway, this guy, he's so goofy. And stop yelling, you big, he's so dramatic.
Child gonna be raised by not only another man, but a man of another race who can't stand yours.
Yeah, it's interesting because Umar doesn't even take care of his own children. He hasn't raised not one child. He has at least 3 baby mamas. He has not raised one child in his life. He's 50 years old.
Yeah, that's deep.
So you got to stay there. I would never tell a black man to walk out on his kids because the mother white. Nah.
What about walking out on your kids just because? You're a deadbeat, Umar. Would you tell black men to do that? See how hypocritical this guy, he's so hypocritical. It's a shame. I wonder if this young lady knows that Umar's a deadbeat, that he got 3 baby mamas out here, and that he impregnated one of them when he was in his early 40s and she was in her early 20s. I wonder if she knows that about Umar. I wonder if she knows about Umar's daughter right now and the struggles that she's dealing with. And Umar has done absolutely nothing to mitigate the situation. In fact, he's made it worse. Meanwhile, he don't even know if his own kids was raised by another race. Yeah. And you know what else? He didn't even know whether or not one of his daughters was still alive. How about that? Y'all remember the video? That was the Lene video where Umar was talking real reckless about fish tanks and stuff, right? That wasn't that the video? So how, you know, oh, he's such a hypocrite. He don't even know if his children are alive or not. He get on live stream talking crazy. And then yet he gonna try to tell black men you need to do this, and black women you need to do that, and this, that, and the third. He's such a hypocrite. Thanks, James. It's a good point too.
You dug that ditch.
You ain't got
Lay in
nothing.
it.
You ain't got nothing with that ditch with a German Shepherd. Do you pack up and leave? Do you take the dog, or you leave the dog with the lady?
What you talking about? I don't understand what you saying right there. Let's see.
You don't have
depends.
any children. All y'all got is a
How
lizard.
close is she with the dog?
That's your.
Listen, Umar, what are you talking about? What in the world is going on here? What's going on?
Son, the dog is your child. You don't have any human
I'm just
children.
saying they just locked the guy up the other day because they caught him having sex with his dog. No, this was on the news.
What you talking about? Out of all the things that Umar could have said, his mind goes to having sex with a dog. What in the world? What kind of P did he freak off fish in the bed and ostriches in the what's going on here?
No, it really was a guy on the
Yeah,
news
he was having sex with his dog.
Yeah.
What that got to do with anything? He always takes things to the worst result. He do. It's always some kind of extreme. He assumes all white people hate black people, and that's so ignorant. Yeah. And she sounded I think she's just going along with it, to be honest with you. I think because we're watching like the last maybe fourth of the video. Okay, because it's not even, it's about a fourth of the video, the last fourth of the video. That makes sense to people. So I'm sure the whole interview was crazy because Umar, he's nuts. So she might just be going along with it. But I'm telling you, for him to bring up the dog situation, why even bring that up? Who thinks like that? But you're right, Holly B. Umar always brings up like the worst case scenarios when he's talking about black people, and just like it's always the worst with this guy. Thank you, Holly B. That's a good point. That's something you guys can actually look out for with Umar. He's always going through this extreme worst case scenario when he talks about black people. Thanks, Holly B. Jaina sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This right here. This is because I forgot your new podcast name, but this is Dear Woke Christian right here. He's changed the name of his podcast to the Jay Witt Podcast. And then he says, I told you Umar was wilding out. Great show, sir. Hit the like button, fam. Yeah, thank you so much. And I appreciate you too, bro. If you're enjoying the show already, go on and hit that like button. And let's give a shout out to the Jay Witt Podcast, because I wouldn't even have done this if he hadn't emailed me. And I have a lot of respect for him. So if you guys can, let's give some love to him inside of the chat room. Okay, and this is if you guys, again, I'm going to say this because you probably unfamiliar because he changed this recently, the Jay Wood Podcast. This is Dear Woke Christian. Okay, he's been on here before, and I've checked out his show many times. Okay, so thanks for super chat as well. Okay, James said she's a stand-up comedian. Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know much about her, but she has a podcast and she has a lot of subscribers, so she's doing very well in the podcast space. So that's great, good for her. I don't know what her actual name is, but I heard she goes by Don't Call Me White Girl, but her YouTube page is Breakbeat Medium. And thanks, James. Black Anonymous says Umar was in South Africa dancing and laying in a nice, comfy bed without knowing if his child was alive and his mother is living in filth. Yeah, I have the video. Matter of fact, let me just show you, because again, what Umar would do is before he would go on these trips, in particular to Africa, he would beg for money. and then he would use that money over in Africa, and there's a conversion rate, so he can live real good up over there while he's over there, but then he comes back broke again, and then he has to beg again. That's what he did the first time, and then he comes back, he does the Lene video, and then he begged for money for a legal fund. See, this is another scam, right? Because his accounts was hacked by Lene and by me, allegedly, whatever. And so he begs for money, and there are people who get it, and so then he takes that money, goes back over to Africa again. See that? Right? And then he comes back. So this is what happens over and over with this guy. And then when he comes back, he says that his bank accounts were frozen, so he needs more money then. See? But while he was over in Africa, he was living his best life, and that tends to be Umar's his MO. So let me see if I can find this video where he's over here. Yeah, here it is right here. So this was him over in Africa. All right. All right, and then we didn't cover this video, but this was him over in Africa chilling. What in the world? He got he got a crate bed going on. Okay. What in the world? Let me see if he says anything. Oh, I don't think he says anything. He just.
My Pretoria family.
Oh, here we go.
Peace and Pan Africanism to my Durban family, my KwaZulu family, my Cape Town family.
You can see the screws in the crate and everything.
My Eastern Cape, my Kyalisha family. We will be at Funders Community Center in.
Yep, there you go. Yep. All right. Thanks, Black Anonymous. Her name is Mona. Okay, so the sister's name is Mona. Okay, and then her podcast again is Breakbeat Media, and then she also goes by Don't Call Me White Girl. Okay, so her name is Mona. Thank you for letting me know, Tink Gee. I appreciate that. Jana says, see the recent video with holes in the. Yeah, we covered that yesterday. Yeah, we covered it yesterday. Yeah, that's when he was trying to figure out what color for the tiles, but he's always doing stuff like that. What color for the paint and all this other stuff. He just recycles and nothing ever gets done. Those same ceiling tiles that were missing in that video, they were missing back in September. Well, no, that's not true, because what happened, let me tell you all what happened real quick with the ceiling tiles. So when Umar Percy's abandoned buildings, obviously they were in bad shape. They're still in bad shape. He has made some improvements, but they're still in bad shape. But there were ceiling tiles because the roof, there were so many issues with the roof that the roof was leaking, and the buildings have been sitting up, if memory serves me correctly, for about 4 years. So they're exposed to the elements because there's water damage too down this hallway too. I saw that in a video about a year ago. But anyway, so with leaks in the roof, what would happen is when it would rain, it would leak through the roof, and then it would drop down on those ceiling tiles, and then it would stain the ceiling tiles. You guys have probably seen that before, because I remember even when I was a child in school, if there was a leak someplace in the roof, you'll see it stain, and it can look really bad. So Umar, instead of replacing them, he took them down. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that you see, the missing tiles, he took those down because they were all stained, and he kept them. He wanted to actually try to wash them somehow instead of just buying new ones. That's what happened. It just goes to show you where his mentality is, especially about the money, right? He wants to collect as much as he can, and then spend the least amount, including if he takes these ceiling tiles down because they're stained. Somehow he's going to figure out how to wash them so that they're no longer stained. Even in terms of opportunity costs with time doing all of that, it's not even worth it. Why not just go and purchase some brand new ones? Because at the end of the day, you end up saving. Remember, time is money, right? Time is life. Why not just go, you save a whole lot more time, which is money, which is life. Okay. And time is life. This makes sense. Just go and buy some brand new ones and put them up. But he didn't want to do that because he's shady. It's all he wants to keep as much money in his own pocket as possible. Now, he broke down, obviously, but do you see the point? Yeah. So that's the whole the thing, the ceiling thing with the ceiling tiles, that's been going on for a very long time. He still hasn't corrected that issue 6.5 years later. Thanks, Janet. But this goes to show you he ain't serious about opening up no school. James says he's going to Africa to learn how they be swindling Americans, then come back and use it on his own people. No, James, he already knows how to do it. Listen, Umar's been at this. It's been at least 2 decades, going all the way back to the UNIA. That was in 2005. It's been at least 2 decades. The thing with Umar, James, is that he's refined it over the years. See, because it's like I was saying this yesterday, and I was thinking about it. I told people, because someone had asked me, well, how much longer do you think Umar can keep this going on? Because it's been going on a long time. He conceptualized this in 2004, right? So, and I remember when he acquired these abandoned buildings in February 2019, the people were asking me the same question. Well, how much longer do you think he can keep this up now that he has these? And I said, maybe 3 years, 4 years max. Well, we're 6.5 years in. Totally wrong on that. So what I'm getting at is, in terms of Umar, that's another 6.5 years to refine these scams. See, I know he's getting more and more reckless with the bank account scam and all this other all of this other stuff. I see that he's getting more reckless because he's more desperate, but he knows how far he can go in order to get money out of people. Let me give you another example, James, and I can show you guys a video. Did you guys know that Umar? There was a time where, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. There was a time where Umar was trying to get money out of his donors so that he can go to law school. I think it was $300,000, if memory serves me correctly. Yeah, here we go right here.
In for today. I hope this was beneficial. Going over school discipline procedure, protocol, process for regular ed students and special ed students. Y'all want me to go back to law school? I got accepted to law school about 10 years ago, and I turned it down because I was still working on my doctorate. I got accepted to a small law school in Florida, Central Florida, and I turned it down because I was working on my internship for my doctorate in clinical psychology, which I have. If I could do it over, brother and sisters, I would have dropped out of that doctorate program and I should have went to law school. I made a big mistake. I made a big mistake. If I do go back to law school, y'all gonna pay for it because I'm not taking out no more loans. Y'all hear me? If I get accepted to a law school, are y'all willing to raise the money for me to go? Because law school is that's going to be about a $300,000 investment. Would y'all raise the money for me to be educated at law school so I can come and fight for your children? Okay? If y'all would raise the money, I would do it, but I'm not paying for it. I've been struggling for our children for 20 years. If y'all going to pay for it so I can help fight for y'all even more, I'll go. But if y'all not going to pay for it, I'm not going. I'm going to end.
See that? So, James, what I'm getting at is that Umar, he refines these scams. He put this out there as a filler to see what type of response he would get. And he didn't get a very good response. So he hasn't talked about that since, at least based on my research. I don't think I've ever heard him talk about it again. $300,000. But he throws it out there just to kind of, so what I'm getting at is that he's been doing this for such a long time. He knows how far he can go. And then over time, he's figured out, okay, what can I get away with in terms of getting money out of people? Well, obviously that didn't work, the 300,000. There's something else I want people to think about too. You notice Umar says, I'm not taking out any more loans. He was in higher education pursuing different degrees for 20 years. How much student loan debt you guys think he has? 20 years? See, he's not even in a financial position to be able to manage a school. Thanks, James. The whole scenario is just it's so out there. Host Cook says, I emailed you. I'm working on with Amazon, a small biz, to launch a free online learning and resource platform. Okay, I'll get into my email tonight. I'm so behind on emails, like 2 months. I try to get to emails as quickly as possible. Thanks, Host Southern Cooks, for email for the super chats. I will check my email after this live stream. Travis Meyer says, I can't get over the flip phone. Yeah. That was crazy. That was crazy. I mean, a lot of people, matter of fact, that right there with Umar, he had the fake phone call. That woke a lot of people up too, way back in the day. Yeah. Thank you for super chat. Truck Talk says, is that the same pallet the HVAC the HVAC was on? I don't think so. His headboard. Yeah, but I mean, even though it looks, I mean, come on. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to try to shame anybody because that's how their hotel or motel was. I ain't gonna do that because that's down in South Africa. But I will say this, that I don't think Umar cares. I don't think he cares about that. I don't think he cares. I think for him, it's still comfortable. I mean, what's the alternative? Sleeping in his car, sleeping inside the school, or sleeping in his mama house when he can? Because again, like I said, he's not supposed to be there. With all the heat that's on him right now, dealing with his mama, I highly doubt that he's there as much as he normally is. See, the point is that for Umar, it doesn't matter as long as he has a place where he can lay his head, because he's been homeless since 2019. You know, it's amazing. There are black people, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but there are black people who see this guy as this great leader, but he's homeless. How can you see a homeless man who has substance abuse issues and clearly has some serious mental health issues and is a deadbeat, don't even take care of his own kids? He don't even know how to take care of himself. How can you see him as a great black leader? Well, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, you know. Yeah, Umar, he has manipulated the minds of his followers into seeing him as something that he's not. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Holly B says, apologies to Mona, but Umar's head still thumping. Yeah. I think she probably held her own because she seemed like she could handle Umar. Because Umar, you know how he usually tries to dominate everything. That's what he usually, especially when it comes to women. The other thing too is, you all know Umar, he liked the light-skinned women. Okay, and I'm just saying that as a statement of fact, not that it makes me any difference. I'm just saying. Okay, so he may even start talking freak off talk, trying to get at her. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all, because that's how Umar, that's how he operates. Thanks, Holly B. Black Wolf gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Black Wolf. Whoever received that membership, make sure you thank Black Wolf. Thank you so much. Jonathan says, "What's up?" Jonathan says he was testing the waters. Yeah. With him throwing out the $300,000. I guess potential fundraiser, so he can go back to law school. That's just him testing the waters to see what type of response. And that's what con men do. Con artists do, scammers do. They'll throw stuff out there to try to get fillers and see, you know, how people respond. And if they respond enough to where the scammer or the con man, they say to themselves, okay, yeah, there's a potential for me to get some money out of this. Then they'll roll with it. And in some cases, they'll roll with it just enough to get a certain amount of money, and then they abandon that. In some cases, they'll run with it, like Jay Morrison. He went on that whole TREP fund thing for quite some time and got close to $12 million. But see, once he saw the money coming in, he just stuck with it and just siphoned as much as he could. Right? It's like a leech. He got as much as he could, and then once it was no longer tenable, he abandons it, and then ultimately he pads his pockets. He gets property, and he gets a home for his family. It's $1 million home, if I remember search correctly, right? But understand that initially, Jay Morrison had to throw fillers out there to see how people would respond, and he throws a Tulsa on top of that to tap into the emotional space and the trauma of Tulsa and all this other stuff. I mean, it's very manipulative. Umar does the same thing. You know, war on black boys, Scooter prison pipeline. That's the same shit, right? It's not the same shit, but the same strategy, manipulative technique. So Jay Morrison, he threw fillers out before he actually went full-fledged into that. Okay, he prepped all of that. You know, he was doing stuff, talking about real estate and all this stuff. Okay, that fuels the fire leading up to, okay, we're gonna buy back Wall Street. What you talking about? Y'all see this? So I guarantee you that if even after putting out the fillers, because he recognized that there was a major interest in it, money started coming in like crazy. If that money dropped off real quick, like it was okay, there's only so much. Okay, there's people who are interested, but it's not a lot. I'm sure he would abandon that and just move on to something else. But that money kept coming upwards to about $12 million. And then finally, once it was no longer tenable, and basically he wasn't issuing out any dividends, and everyone was losing money except him, he abandons it. Well, Umar, that's what he did with this. He was testing the waters to see. Y'all look out for that. Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Swagolini says, I would just accept my fate if Umar became a public defender. No, can you imagine this criminal up there on the stand, scam artist on the stand as a public defender? Can you imagine that? Well, let me stop. Thanks, Swagolini, for the super chat. Blackwell said, Lennon, did you add that mil Umar said they paid him not to run against Joe Biden? No, I didn't even add that million to it. There was a time when Umar was saying that the Democratic Party paid him $1 million. Anybody remember that hit the one? I kid you not. I can find it. It was a Instagram post. I don't believe he actually did a video. It was an Instagram post. I have it. I mean, it's old. This is like years ago. Yo, anybody remember that? Hit the one. I'm not making it up. He was saying that the Democratic Party was going to pay him $1 million. They paid him. I thought he said they paid him $1 million. This guy, he lies. Yeah. I ain't making it up. I know it sounds like I am, but I'm not. What's up, 100% real man? I'm not making this up. Erica, you don't know about that. What's up, Flex? I kid you not. That's why I always this confirmation right here. When you guys see these ones, because we all ain't gonna be lying. We don't be lying up over here. Umar be lying, but we don't be doing that. But yeah, that's what he said. Everybody like, what? Yeah. But that's what he said. It was in a post. I kid you not. I have it somewhere. What's up, Trey? I have it somewhere. Oh, HQ got kicked out. Oh, poor thing. I didn't see none of his his or her comments. So don't make me no difference. Come on. Yeah, he said they paid him. Agnat said he blocked me when I called him out on that lie. I was working for the campaign. See, there you go. See, Umar he be lying so much. He just be making up. He be sitting in them hotel rooms by himself thinking of stuff. What's up, Maddie and Barn? Okay, let's get back to it before I get blowed off in this. What's up, David? Before I get blowed off inside of this chat room. Yeah, you're right about that. I was talking about that earlier. Yeah. Okay, let's get back to it. Yeah, let's get back to the original video. Here we go.
So don't leave. There's no way. I'm telling y'all. Okay.
Good. I'm not messing with no woman who dog sleep in the bed with her.
Do you know anybody personally? Any of your male black friends have white wives and mixed kids? Anybody?
A friend? No. I don't have snow bunny hoppers for friends.
How about like cousins?
Yeah, Umar doesn't have any friends
and brothers, like family members. When you go to
I got family members who bunny hop. Yes.
Man, I want that reunion.
No, it ain't. No, because they know where I stand. I know where they stand. The snow bunny know who I am.
Leave Uncle out for
No, I'm not gonna mistreat her. If she speak, listen, y'all gotta understand something. Because I don't hate nobody.
Right.
I have white fans.
Of course you do.
I have Asian fans. I had an Arab woman just send me a picture on Instagram yesterday. She said, would you like me? I'm built like a sister. She was.
Here we go. See, he always got to turn it into some sort of a objectification situation. In this Arab Umar. Anyway.
Ass fat as shit, but you're not black. You're not black. I can't tap it. It's against the rules. It's against the rules.
Have you been married?
Yeah, he's talking reckless, y'all. He's talking so reckless. And he don't have no shame. None.
Before?
I've never been married. I've never lived with a woman.
And if you do get married,
okay, I want y'all to think about that. He's 50. He's never even lived with a woman. I want y'all really to think about that. Think about that. He about to be 51. Yeah, except his mama. You're right about that. Yeah. It is. It is. Yeah. You're right. Except his mama. So let me rephrase that, which doesn't make it better. You know what I'm saying? You guys leave him alone. Let me prove my point. Let me stop. Okay. Let me prove my point. This chat room is a mess. Come on now. Let me speak my speech, okay? He hasn't lived with any woman in his life except his mama, and he's 50. He's about to be 51. And he lived with his mama when he lives off of his mama at 50, about to be 51. Y'all don't think that that's strange? I don't know what to tell y'all on that. Yes, arrested development is part of it too. Yeah, I saw that. Yep. Let's keep going.
Queens! Got it.
Stop yelling. Why are you always yelling? I think he was tooted before he got on here. And this guy over here needs to cut it out.
You not black. I can't tap it. It's against the rules. It's against the rules.
Have you been married before?
I've never been married.
Well,
I've never lived with a woman.
And if you do get married,
two queens.
Got it. So
they don't have to live in the same house. They don't have to live in the same state.
You have to
they ain't got to live in the same country.
Look at this guy. I thought those look like Nikes. Are those Nikes? Umar, I thought you said the Nikes, that's the white man business, and that we shouldn't be, black people shouldn't be buying all that, right? I could be wrong. That's what they look like to me. Isn't that what it looked like? I don't know. Someone said they're Air Max. Yeah, you just said that? Yeah. It looked like they brand new. He probably got them just for the show. You know, he said, I'm going to be up here. I'm going to look my best with these Max Air. But he tells black people that we're not supposed to be buying Nikes and all that. He wants your grit money as well. Umar got on some Temu Max. All right. This guy got on some Nikes, some jeans, and a dashiki. Can we get it together? If we can get this together, I'd appreciate it. Let's go.
They ain't got to live on the same continent because I'm intercontinental Ifatunde.
Damn, y'all ain't even in the palace together?
It's up to them. Now, if they say they want to live together, but they can't be popping each other because I don't do no LGBT.
It's y'all's principle. Umar Ifatunde McNasty. That's going to be Umar's principal name. Umar Ifatunde McNasty. Let's keep. Somebody said, Nike Shein. Nike's forever, Adidas never. Cricket Crush chat is crazy. Let's go.
They can't be what each other?
They can't be popping each other. They ain't the type of
no
party.
scissoring.
What's this got to do with opening up a school for black boys? I don't know what to say. Let's keep going.
Scissoring. You know when they scissor, when they bump coochies. Dr. Umar.
Umar about to turn into a werewolf. He heard that. He said, ooh. He altered beast. I told y'all he heard that. And he's you know Umar, he into that freak stuff. That's the thing. He into that freak stuff. All right. Let's go.
Nah.
It's like this.
Not in the Ifatunde.
You can't.
You know what's this.
So
all eyes on Papa.
So you're not having intercourse with both wives at the same time?
No.
Ain't no need for that.
That's gay.
4 cheeks, that would be a pretty sight. But no, we're not going to do that.
Here he go. Yeah, according to Lene, that's what he wanted anyway. But we gonna leave that right there. Yeah. You want to come on? No, I'm just playing. Because then it's going to go to that level, then the thumbs and all this other stuff. I don't want to I don't want to do that again. Let's keep going. Here we go.
4 cent a bunch. No, we're not doing a freak. This is not a freak off. This is a marriage.
So listen.
That's life.
It's not a freak off. It's a marriage.
So listen, you have to.
And if they ever come home with a loosey goosey, they getting divorced. If you ever get in my bed and your rubber band pop, keep going to your mama house.
What the?
This guy, he's sick.
What does that mean?
If the rubber band popped.
Like the hymen? They gotta be virgins?
If your walls are worn out.
Okay, but you would know that before you marry. You would know that. You're not gonna test it?
You damn right I'm gonna test it.
I know.
What is going on here? He always talking about that too. I don't get that. For some of us brothers, that don't even matter. Y'all catch my drift. Get the one. Evidently, it matters to Umar. He always goes there. Freak. He's a nasty freak. Let's see here. Yeah. I gotta find that receipt. Netta says, for those who have a problem with Lenon pressing Umar, newsflash, he cares about black people more than Umar. Umar is pro-black, is pro-black money, not black. Yeah, he wants black people's money. Yeah, he's not pro-black. If you guys listen to Umar when he talks, most of what he says when he's talking about black people is negative. That's one of the most critical points to this Umar Johnson, to really see who he is. I mean, there's so many other ones too. The sexual deviancy is another aspect of it. And I can already see it. We can see it here clearly. But one of the critical aspects of Umar, when you really want to see him for who he is, listen to how he talks about black people. He's always disparaging black people, disrespecting black people, criticizing black people. You rarely hear him talking about any white people. He called black people by name and going, he always clout chasing off of celebrities. So especially successful black men in entertainment and in sports. This is a key component right here. He goes after successful black women too. Listen to Umar when he talks about black people. Overwhelmingly, it's negative. Now, I will say this, because I'm not no black leader and I don't profess to be a part of the quote unquote black conscious community, but I know one damn thing. I love my children. I love my wife. I can tell you all that clearly. You want to be a revolutionary? Let's start right there. See, Umar, he don't got a woman. He don't got a wife, and he don't even bother taking care of his kids. Y'all know he been on child support for over 22 years with all the different baby mamas, 3. You put them all together on a timeline, it's been over 22 years, sequentially speaking. Still on child support. Y'all know that Umar, he's had his license revoked. He tells people that he pays his child support. That's not true, because if you paid your child support, why you got all these bench warrants on your docket for these baby mamas? And you, not only has he had his license revoked, Umar's been to jail for not paying child support. Did you guys know that? How can you say you love black people when you don't even love your own children and you don't take care of your own children? You're not even married. You're 50 years old. Umar's never even lived with the woman at the age of 50. That ain't got nothing to do with love. What kind of man at the age of 50 ain't never lived with a woman? Unless you don't like women. Okay. And no, his mama don't count based on what I'm talking about, if that makes sense to people. But I do see the point. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Umar, he doesn't have any love for black people. And I'm adamant about this, that if you want to start somewhere, love your wife, love your children, start there. Okay. Thanks, Netta, for the super chat. Maddie says, Lenon, do you think the vandalism was real, or was the damage due to rainwater and damp conditions? Didn't the gym have a puddle at one time? Okay, so, and this is good, really good. So the puddle that was shown over and over again, especially in 2019 and 2020, maybe even in 2021, that was in the small gym. The vandalism that Umar is showing is in the large gym across the street. And that was the first time he showed the inside of that building on the other side of the street. That's the first time he showed it in over 6 years. No, in about 6 years. He hadn't shown it. He just would not go over there. He stopped showing it to people. And the point is that in 2019, Umar gets evicted and he moves all of his personal belongings into that large gym and stops showing it. Now, this makes sense to people? So let's go here. I put together a compilation video. I know I said we're gonna only be here, but it is what it is. Because this is an important part of this Umar Johnson saga, just the gym itself, because there's been so much that has happened even with this gym situation that's ridiculous. So let me pull up. Okay, I have a couple of versions of this. I want to pull up the best quality one, and I don't know if it's this one or if it's the other one. So let me pull this one up first. Oh, no, it's not that one because it's not coming up. There's a different codec for that one. Let me try the next one. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. I think this is the best quality. Nope, that one's not coming up either. All right, let me try one more. That one's not coming up either. It's a codec issue, but I've played it before. Let me try. Oh, this one should work, but the quality isn't that great, but that's okay. We'll go with this one for now. So this is what you're referring to. This is in the large gym. We got about 2,600 people in the building. Thank you guys so much for tuning on. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. And there is a poll question too. Yeah, he also played Vandalism, this right here on the exterior, but we're focusing on this one. So to answer your question, and here's another version. This is a side by side. I'm gonna take the audio off of here so you guys can just look at the video while I answer this.
Peace and love, Black family.
So the question is, do you think the vandalism was real, or was the damage due to rainwater and damp conditions? I think the vandalism was real. I think that it took place years ago. And the reason why I can say that is because, and this is a side-by-side comparison, 2019, what the gym looked like in 2019 and then what it looks like in 2025. It just goes to show you the regression. But if you guys look carefully, there is paint. These are all Umar's personal belongings. He got evicted in 2019. But if you notice, there's dust on top of these books. There's dust on top of the paint. So this damage, this vandalism would have to be old, years old. You guys remember the video that we watched yesterday where Umar was showing, he was inside of the abandoned buildings and he was looking at the tiles. And then he pulled out a little tile folder thing and he started dusting it off like this. That's because all of that tile stuff has been sitting in there for who knows how long. He just brings it out now. Well, he did the same thing with the vandalism. Remember, he did the vandalism video before he went to Africa the first time. And the idea for Umar was, let me put this out there now, even though the vandalism was old, clearly it's old. Look, even though the vandalism is old, let me put it out there now so that I can get donations out of people. See this? Yeah, I didn't see any, look right there. You see how there's like, it's almost as if someone walked through that area. You see how there's that white film. It's like dust or whatever else it is. Who knows? It shouldn't even be in here. It's on the books too. That's because this vandalism is years old. See, there's even dust on top of the desk that's flipped over. Can you guys see that? Look at the book. Look at that book. Look at the 2025. Look at the 20 and look right above that 20, above the text, private book. Look at the film. There's dust on top of it. This is old. Does this make sense? Hit the one. This is what I mean by forensics. Like you can really look at that. Umar, he self-exposes over and over again. See, the forensics are all here, but he tries to pass this off a couple of months ago as if this just occurred. And then he tried to, because he wanted people to send him donations. No, this is old, years old. Look at that. Look at that back wall. See, if you look look on the 2019 at the back wall, you see how it's cleared? And then look at 2025. See the back wall? It's just filth. See, this is stuff from Umar Johnson's, a lot of this stuff. I'm not talking about this desk and stuff, but the, school desk. I'm talking about the personal belongings in the trash and filth. This was from Umar Johnson's apartment, right? In fact, where he got evicted from in 2019. So it had been sitting in there for about 6 years, right? As a matter of fact, let me pull one other receipt. There you go.
Strong alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com.
See, Umar's used to living in filth like this. He's a hoarder.
FDMG resumes at gmail.com.
See all the filth and trash? And there's a big back TV over there.
.com is what we look at. FD.
Can y'all see the big back TV over there? See it? Keep that in mind. Just filthy. See, he has his mama living in filth like this now. Right? So this video's from 2019. He gets evicted. I have the paperwork on this too. He gets evicted out of here, and then he moves his personal belongings into the large gym, and that's why he stopped showing the large gym. See, he didn't show the large gym again until 2025 with all of this alleged vandalism, but this vandalism is old. There's dust on top of everything, including the paint that's on the ground. Now, could there have been water damage? It's possible, but I haven't seen any indication of that. It is definitely possible, Maddie, to answer that question. But the other gym did have a puddle inside. I think he did get that fixed from what he said. Again, you never know with this guy. Thanks for the super chat. But let me just play this so y'all can see the difference. Here, I'll even put on the audio.
Yeah, what do you think so far to walk through the tour? How you liking the school?
It's nice.
You feeling it? Cement.
Look at all of that filth and trash.
What you think?
See, this is all personal. This ain't got nothing to do with the school. Remember, he was talking about his books. Well, that's all his books from his old residence got evicted in 2019.
Potential. I see the before and the potential of the.
See, old computer speakers. All this stuff right here is his. The pictures. Remember, he had pictures on the wall. Look at the fitted caps up there. See the caps up there. This is all Umar Johnson's belongings. It's in boxes and it's in black bags. See the shoes, the Nikes, the red, black, and green. I think it's Nikes. Okay, that's Umar's. All this stuff is Umar's stuff, but it was vandalized years ago. He put this stuff in here back in 2019, and he stopped showing it out. He stopped showing this particular gym, the large gym, and he didn't show it again until 2025 this year, because he wanted to get money out of people.
Tremendous.
All right, what you think, Sister Sabrina?
I see the after.
And you see right there's that big back TV. Got him. See, the forensics are all there. If we go back.
Send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FD.
See that TV back there? That big back TV.
MG resumes at
there you go. Okay. Well, that's the same TV that we see inside of the gym.
And the after.
See, in essence, what he did was he turned this side of the street into his own personal storage space. Again, he's been homeless since 2019. Where's he going to put it inside his mama's place? No, his mama's space is small and it's already a hoarder. It's all kind of stuff up in there already. In fact, this is a video from 2020. By this time, he's inside of his mama's closet. And watch this.
Going once, Red Medusa going twice. Red Medusa going once, Red Medusa
I believe it's 2020. It could be 2021, but I think it's 2020.
Going twice. Where's Red Medusa? Y'all got to get on the Wi-Fi too with these calls. Y'all got to get on the Wi-Fi. Give her a second to come on in.
She's in his mama's
Where's Red Medusa at? Where's Red Medusa?
I think your Wi-Fi might be failing you, Red Medusa. South African Africa.
I'm sorry, let me get to the part. Here it is right here.
I'm at the book signing, and I think either they was MK Ultra projects, you know, government robots, you know, human robots, a real person who's been psychologically programmed to destroy their own community. I think that was the case. Or she was just a mentally ill sister, one or the other. But it's just sad because.
So did you hear about they had burned down another one of his houses earlier this year around March?
I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about that.
Like New Jersey or somewhere.
I didn't hear about that. Yeah, he used to live in Camden, New Jersey, right over the bridge.
Yeah, I think that's the one that burned down. There was like a 78-year-old lady living inside there at the time when they were burning it down, and she said she's going to rebuild.
Wow, I wasn't even aware of that. Yeah, conspiracy to destroy Dr. King.
Yeah, they're trying to erase the history, Dr. Umar. But you keep doing your thing, Dr. Umar. You definitely got a lot of good followers out here. Good people.
Appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. All right, now be blessed.
See this right here? This is Mama's closet. He's a hoarder. So he put what he could inside his mama's closet, but most of it he stored inside of his inside the gym. So he's turned FDMG, the other side of the street, he's turned into his own personal storage. So how do you take millions of dollars of black people's money and then that's what you reduce it all down to? Because not one black child has been educated. See this? The wall's all dirty. If you look over to my left, I don't know if it's your left, but there's a red lace curtain. Okay, that's his mama's closet. Some people have speculated that this is the bathroom, but there's only one bathroom. And when Lene went there, she had access to the bathroom. She said it was filthy, so this couldn't be the bathroom. What I'm gonna tell you what I think, and I'll just say a closet, but I think what it is. I think it's the washer and dryer room. That's what I think it is. And I think there's no washer and dryers in there, and so he just turned that area into where he live streams from. And there's no door. It's just a sliding thing. He slides over, and then he goes out. Okay. Anyway, this gets back to Maddie, what you were asking. Okay, thank you so much for the super chat. User 225 says, "Look at my therapist dog. I'm gonna be institutionalized." Yeah. If you're dealing with Umar, you definitely will be. Thank you, User 225. Smitty Boy says he thinks every woman wants him. What a joke! Yeah, he does. That's the narcissism, and he's very conceited as well. In fact, Lene said his mama said that about him. Right? Umar thinks very, very, very highly of himself. That's the narcissism. Thanks, Smitty Boy. James says because he don't want to be responsible for the bills, his supporters would be sending his wife food. Well, I think the reason why Umar has never lived with the woman is because he doesn't see women as being deserving of, what is the word here? Security. Because that's the idea. When you settle down, is to provide security, right? And I'm not just talking about physical security. I'm just talking about security all the way across the board. That's one of the most important aspects of a relationship that you can offer to a woman as a man. Financial security, emotional security, intellectual security, right? Being able to solve problems when they come up, work with her to solve problems, that type of stuff. Even sexual security is important too, right? The point is that with Umar, he's never provided that for a woman, and his lifestyle is such that he just simply sees women as resources, right? So let me use you, and then I'll discard. I'll use you, and then I'll discard. I'll use you, I'll discard. He's been doing that, and it's indefinite at this point. So for Umar, the idea of settling down with the woman, that's just not in his mindset, even though he says he wants to be married and all this stuff. But I have a video from 2014 where Umar talks about how he doesn't feel like he wants to get married. Y'all want me to pull that up? 2014. I believe it's April of 2014. It could be March. No, it's either April or May. See, so he's talking all this marriage stuff these days, but that's just a manipulative tool to make these women out here feel as if, they're going to be the next one or one of the next ones. But I can go back and show you guys a video from 2014 where Umar, he talks about relationships as if, I'm not even interested in that. But the truth is he hasn't been interested. What he wants is he wants freak off type of situation. He wants what they call sex buddies. So that when he flies into a particular city, he'll have a woman already lined up that he can have sex with. He flies into the next one. He has sex. He has a woman already lined up to have sex. He flies into the next one, and he's been living like that so that's why Umar he can say that he's never lived with the woman outside of living off of his mama. See, but that also speaks to his character. I should pull that video because some of you guys have seen it. I don't think yeah, he wants jump offs. I don't think many of you guys have seen the video. I just never played that segment of it. But at some point I'll pull it. Someone remind me in the future, I'll pull it up. It's from 2014. Okay, we got to get going here. Everybody, let me just and thanks James for the super chat. I appreciate that. And thanks Smitty Boy. User 225. Antoine says, the coconut speaks his hypocrisy yet again. What is coconut? I don't know what that is. Thanks, Antoine. thanks, Antoine. User 225. I don't do LBGs. Hey, yo, but he likes the okay. All right. Here we go. Thanks, User 225. Dion says, lying body language may show some signs, including fidgeting, eye contact, either avoiding or too much, changes in speech patterns and touching the face, and may provide too much info, repeat words or phrases. I know one thing with Umar, he tends to do that. He'll provide too much information, more information than anyone ever asked for. Now, I've studied, I shouldn't say I studied, but I watch videos where they do interrogations, and there are people who are really good at it, and there's people who are not so good at it, and there's people that are just horrible at it. But the people who really do it well, they look for different things. But they also have to put things in context too, because there's sometimes, like as an example, touching of the face, that could be an indicator that the person is being deceptive, but it can also be that they're simply uncomfortable, right? Looking away from not avoiding eye contact, it could mean that they're lying, but it could also mean that they're embarrassed or they feel insecure about something. You see what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So we have to factor those things in as we like kind of analyze Umar. But the truth is that there are some telltale signs with Umar when he lies. For instance, when Umar starts to blink, that's Umar. He's trying to. It's like his body's betraying him. He's just lying. And he's making up shit on the spot. Understand, when Umar makes up stuff on the spot, that's him lying too, because none of that is true. He start blinking and shit. Okay, so there's some telltale signs. Everything has to be placed in context too. You know, if someone is embarrassed about something, like I've seen interrogations where, they're interrogating someone and they've done something that's embarrassing and they don't really want to talk about it. Okay, they may fidget a little bit. They may avoid eye contact. They may look up this way or look this way, but it's more about the embarrassment part. So there's different things that to kind of look at. But with Umar, because of Umar, how he thinks and the way that his mind works, embarrassment is not the issue. See, you can't be embarrassed and then get online and act the way that Umar. He can't get online and act the way that he do and keep doing it over and over again. Because once you're embarrassed the first time, you're going to stop. You're not going to do anything similar to that that's going to make you feel embarrassed. But Umar, he doesn't have self-awareness, so he'll continue to do things over and over again. That's what I mean. You got to put all this in context. You got to consider even Umar's personality as a narcissist. Okay, that has a big influence in terms of how he responds to things. Oftentimes, when he's explaining things, it's more to deflect away from himself being personally responsible. So you can ask him a question, he'll answer the question, but really what he's doing is he's answering the question in a way to where it deflects personal responsibility from him. See? So that could be interpreted in different ways, right? But if you know how Umar is, you will know right away that when he starts deflecting onto other people, okay, that's a form of lying because he doesn't want to deal with the fact that he's the one that's responsible, or he's the one that's culpable. These are the types of things I think about when I analyze Umar. Yep. And real quick, Dion, you're right too. When Umar repeats words and phrases, especially when those words or phrases are lies, that's a way of repeating it so that the lie it can be perceived as being more truthful, even though it's still a lie. He'll do that a lot too. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Dion. Veracity Exchange TV says Umar just be saying anything. Yeah, but that's a pathological lie. He's a pathological liar. So he comes up with things on the spot and he just keeps going and keeps going. I've heard him tell some fantastic stories, you know. And then he'll be telling it and he start blinking and shit. Then sometimes he'll be, he look away or, these types of things. That's Umar. He be telling all kinds of stories. Thanks, Veracity Exchange TV. Miranda says, stop it, Lenon, talking about werewolf. That was funny yesterday. Umar, he turned into I kid you not, Umar turned into a werewolf yesterday. Y'all got to see the live from yesterday. That was crazy. This guy, he got the hooting and hollering. He like, okay. Thank you, Miranda, for the super chat. Laurie says, is the best grow up people. Love y'all. Sisters, no, don't put that on there. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh my God. What in the world? And what in the world? Black Wolf says, look here, I'm the only wolf. Umar's just an angry hamster. Okay, I got you. But there's a difference between a wolf and a werewolf. See, Umar turned into a werewolf, altered beast style. You know what I'm saying? Okay, no disrespect. Thanks, Black Wolf. Jonathan says, how many black boys he saved with this? Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Always with Umar, you can always ask the question because his whole platform has been about saving black boys, right? Even the idea of getting money out of people, it's all under this umbrella. No, it's not even an umbrella. It's all based upon this idea that he's going to save black boys. FDMG is all based upon he's going to save black boys. So give me money for FDMG so that I can what? Save black boys. Okay, but if we watch and listen to Umar, when he's talking, what does this have to do with saving black boys? When he's talking all this PDD freak off type of talk, what does that have to do with saving black boys? When he's going in all in nay, what does it have to do with saving black boys? See, that's the critical question that people should ask because it shows you where Umar's mind is at. He's not worried about saving black boys. When the last time you seen him dealing with black boys? And don't bring up the video where he was over in Africa screaming at the poor children in the school. They're looking at him like, what the hell is this? Who is this guy? Why are he yelling at us like this? That's not how they do stuff up over there. But Umar in there yelling and screaming and shit like he always do. That's not what I'm talking about. Umar screaming at kids. When have you guys seen Umar saving black boys? You see him talking to their mamas, trying to get them draws and get that money. See, but it shows you where his mind is at. So whenever we watch Umar videos, you can say, okay, well, what does it have to do with saving black boys? Him talking all this sex talk. Hey, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, Umar, he's a freaky frog. He's basically a freaky frog. Thanks for being a member. GBF ROMDC says he keeps taking it to the next level down. So, yeah. It's like you should take it up to the next level, right? Higher, but Umar, let's go back down here. We got to talk about the draws, and we got to talk about the cooch, and we got to talk about the cookies, and we got to talk about I don't know. That's Umar. Thank you for super chat. Sagonito, what's up? Says, aren't women his main support base? Are they okay with all the sexual objectifications? It makes me feel uncomfortable as a man. Here's the thing, too. I would like to think that black women would see that truth, that when Umar talks about them, it's always in an objective, how can I say that? In an objectified fashion. So when he says cookies, that's objectification. When he says loosey-goosey, that's objectification. When he says honeycomb hideout, that's objectification. When he says hot fudge, that's objectification. When he says warm salt, that's objectification. And we can put together a whole list. Okay, we can do that for like 30 minutes. Okay, it's all about the objectification and the sexualization of black women. See, you would think that black women who support him would be like, hey, wait a minute. See, and this is the thing I've said. I haven't said it in a long time, but I used to say this a lot back in the day. Black women, you can't have it both ways. You may think that you can, but you can't. On one hand, you can't say I want black men to respect me, but then the person that you follow in Umar Johnson, all he does is disrespect you and objectifies you and reduces you down to your private parts. You can't have it both ways. So you got to take a stand one way or the other. If you're cool with that, okay, go on with that PD freak off shit. That's okay. You're gonna reap the consequence of that, good or bad. Okay. Or you can draw the line and say, listen, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting the justification. I'm not accepting the sexualization. I'm not accepting any of that stuff. And as a consequence, you would no longer support Umar because that's what he's all about. He's not about helping black boys. He talks more about sex and sexualizing black women than he does talk about saving black boys. Real talk. You're going to look on his Instagram page. How many times you see him teaching a young black child? Don't talk about the video where he's yelling and screaming at them poor children in Africa. In South Africa. He was being abusive. I don't want to hear that. And they're looking at him like he's some kind of crazed lunatic. You go look on his Instagram page and show me how many times you see Umar where he's interacting with black boys or black girls for that matter, versus how many times he has pictures where he's hugging up on black women. I'll wait. See, so Agonito, you would think that his main support base, with black women, that they would put those pieces together. And I'm not here to shame anyone or try to demean y'all, because listen, I've been y'all's biggest champion, real talk. But what I'm saying is that you cannot have it both ways. You got to pick a side on that. And one side is going to be to your benefit. The other side is going to be to your detriment. And Umar represents that detriment. Thank you, Swagonito. Louis Suck says, if they had a Pop the Balloon show Pan African edition, if every woman popped their balloons except the man with the big... Oh my God. Except the man with the big jaw. A snow bunny with big hands. or a transsexual with big fingers, who would he choose? Oh man, don't do that. Yeah, Louis, you be taking it way too far. I don't know the answer to this one. I'm leaving this one alone. Listen, if y'all want to answer that in Quick Chat, you're welcome to, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'll say this, based upon what Lene was saying, it would be the man with the big jaw. But I digress. let's get back on target here, shall we? Thanks, Louis Suck. You be taking it too far. Oh man. Brandon Block says, you know, Umar had his head on a swivel when traveling through Philly to get to that podcast. Yeah. See, I was saying that in that video where he was in the car talking about that his bank accounts were frozen, it looked like he got beat up. Side of his face was all swollen and dark. See, I'm sure there's people in Philly that's looking for Umar because he owed money, what have you. I'm sure he owe a gang of people money. Real talk. I'm sure he does. See, so yeah, people in Philly, because I've seen people in make comments and they talk about how people don't deal with Umar in Philadelphia, and they've known that Umar was a scammer a lot longer than the rest of the nation, as it were. This makes sense. Because they've had to deal with him a lot longer before he gets on the Hidden Colors in 2011. He starts to blow up shortly thereafter, 2012, 2013. He was on Hidden Colors 1 and 2. I don't think he was in 3, but 1 and 2 for sure. So a lot of people didn't know who Umar was until after Hidden Colors 1 and 2. And so then he starts to blow up. But see, the people in Philly, they already knew about Umar. That's what. Did you guys know that the most of my viewers here on YouTube are from Philadelphia and New York? And part of the reason why is because they knew how Umar was shady way before I even knew who Umar was. Fascinating, isn't it? And I'm sure that there's people in Philadelphia that they knew a lot more about Umar than I did, even when I started really researching Umar. I'm sure of it. See, I'm sure there's one last thing. I'm sure there's people in Philadelphia and in New York, for that matter, who know more about Umar even to this day, because they have been dealing with him for a lot longer, even before I even knew who Umar was. See, that's telling in and of itself right there. Yep. Thanks, Brandon's Block. Traveler says Umar got the Air Max donation drip on. Yeah, I don't know. That could have been donated. There's people who sent Umar shoes. I mean, they sent this guy all kind of stuff. And the thing is that, and again, I don't necessarily have an issue with that. Like if people want to send him stuff, okay, whatever. Just don't send your grip money. The issue that I have with Umar is that he's such a hypocrite, because he tells Black people what they should be doing and what they should be wearing and what they should not be doing, but then he turns around and he does what he says that we shouldn't be doing, or he'll wear what he tells us that we shouldn't be wearing. And in some cases, he'll eat what he tells us we shouldn't be eating. He's a hypocrite on that. I'm vegan too, by the way, but it don't really matter. It don't make me no difference anyway. I don't see people as being less than or greater than just because of what they eat. It's irrelevant. It's just a life. It's just been my lifestyle. Okay. Umar is not, but there's times where he pretends as if he's health conscious. He's not. This guy, he eats like a 12-year-old, just snacking and shit and candy and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. See, but then he'll tell Black people, yeah, we need to do this and you need to do that and blah, blah, but he's not doing any of that stuff. He's such a hypocrite. So the same thing with these Air Max, he'll tell Black people we shouldn't be supporting because that's white man and that's materialism. We shouldn't be supporting Nike and blah, blah, blah. But then he turns around and he wears Nikes consistently. He talks bad about sports teams, but then he'll wear the fitted cap of the sports team and the beanie of the sports team with the little ball on the top, going off on SETI. He's a hypocrite. Thanks, Traveler, for the super chat. Laura Mendez says, sir, you continue to do what you do. It is a pleasure to see a rare one do the damn Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I've been at this for quite some time. You know, I've taken breaks from time to time. There's been times where I took breaks simply because it was too much, and I was dealing with too much, especially the Umar Johnson followers, because they've done some really shady stuff. You know, some of it online, some of it offline. I remember I got a phone call from it was a police station in, if that's the right word, a police precinct in Philadelphia. Y'all, I don't think I've ever told people this. And they was like, "Are you LenonHonor?" I said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Okay, well, this is," I don't even remember who he was, detective, whatever, from the Philadelphia precinct, blah, blah, blah. And he says, "We're investigating some claims that were made against you, and we're just reaching out to kind of hear your side of the story." I said, well, what's going on? I knew it was about Umar, right? Because Umar's from Philadelphia. And he said, "Well, it's been reported that you have been bullying online someone named Umar Johnson's daughter." I said, "What?" I don't know what you're talking about. He said, "Well, do you know who his daughter is?" At the time, I didn't know. I said, "No." This was back in 2020. I said, "No, I don't know who that is." "Well, someone reported you and they said blah, 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 blah." Well, and I remember to this day, I said, "Well, did the person sound rational to you?" Because you know, some of these Umar Johnson files, they batshit crazy. That's how my mind works. Because I like to think logic and reason. I said, "Well, did the person sound rational to you?" I was like, "Yeah, they sound like." I said, "Okay, well, none of that's true." And I explained to him. I said, I have a YouTube page and I'm covering Umar Johnson and I'm talking about his school scam." And then he was like, "Oh." I said, "But in terms of his daughter, I don't even know who his daughter is. And I've never reached out to his daughter. I don't know what her social media." And you know what's crazy? If y'all think about it, assuming that it's that they were, because I don't even know which daughter they were talking about, but assuming that they were talking about his older daughter, she would have been she would have probably been about 17, maybe 16 years old. See, why would I wouldn't do anything like that. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I've never reached out to any of Umar Johnson followers or family members. I've never done that. They've reached out to me. And see, if they want to connect to me, that's why I wait for them to connect to me. Because I don't want to, you know, that's just pushing the boundaries. I'm not going to do that. So why would I do that to a little girl? That's crazy. Umar Johnson's nephew reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him. And once he reached out to me, I said, "Okay, well, would you like to come on the show?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to come on to the show." I said, "Okay." Now I explained to him. I said, "You know, Umar's going to be upset about that. You sure you want to do it?" He says, "Listen, I don't care, because it's about my grandmama." I said, "Okay, I'll have you on." See? So there's this is what I'm talking about, Laura. These and there's all kinds of stories I can tell you that happen offline, and there's stuff that happened online too. So there were times where I had to take breaks because it was getting to be too much for me, right? Because I had other stuff going on, you know, family stuff going on, and all kind of other stuff. These days, however, I'm very clear about what needs to take place. The stuff has settled down quite a bit in my personal life. Children are getting a little bit older, so it's a lot. It makes more sense, and it's a lot easier for me to do this, at least when it comes to being more consistent. But the point is that I've been at this for a long time, and there's been ups and downs to all this. Any of you guys who've been around for a long time, you know, there's been ups and downs to all of this stuff. What Umar hopes to do with anyone who speaks out against him is to bully them into not talking about him, and he's done that. And a lot of the women that he's manipulated, that he's exploited financially and sexually, he tries to set precedents in terms of bullying the women who do come out to speak, so that all the other ones, that there's countless ones out there, so that they will feel intimidated and they won't come out to speak against Umar. See, and the truth is that he will do that to anyone he attempts to do that, or his followers, or he try to mobilize his followers to do that against people who speak out against him. See, but with me, he fucked up. Even when he more recently, with what he did on his social media with my wife, he thought that was a tactic. No, he fucked up again. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because I come from a life experience where I learned at a very early age that I'm not gonna let no man punk me. And I don't care who it is. Either you do right or you do wrong. And if you do wrong and then you try to punk me, okay, I'm gonna go even harder. See? That's one of Umar's biggest mistakes. And it's interesting because he hasn't even learned the lesson. He should have learned the lesson the first time when he doxed my personal information. I said, okay, you want to play games? Okay, let's go. And I've been at him, and I've still been at him to this day. I would have been done talking about him a long time ago. But then he does it again. He does it again. And then more recently, he does it again. And for me, I'm just like, okay, let me just take a step back. I'm not going to get all crazy with it. What's the strategy to this? Well, the strategy now is every single day, my goal this month is to upload one video onto YouTube every single day. And if it's not an upload, it will be a premiere. And if it's not a premiere, it'll be a live stream. And then the numbers have been building and building and building. Yeah, I've been at this and I've learned a lot through this process, and I've been through a lot too. And like you said, I'm going to continue to do my damn thing. Real talk. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, I have so many stories I can tell you guys. You know, there was this one woman, rest in peace, and she was going on to my family member's social media page and reposting my family's pictures on her. She doxed my home address too back then, but she was posting my family members' pictures and coming up with these narratives. One of my sisters, she liked to, she hung out with, I don't know if she still does, but bikers, but black bikers. And it's interesting because if it's black bikers, all of a sudden it's a biker gang. No, they just was kicking it. They just hanging out. They ain't got nothing to do with no gang banging and none of that shit. They like motorcycles, so that's what they did. And my sister used to go, and her homegirl, they used to go and that's what they did. But this woman, rest in peace, she was framing it as if she's part of a biker gang and all this. And who gives a shit? And then my dad, there's pictures of my dad throwing up because my dad was never into gangs either. It's just a midlife crisis shit. My family's of East Side Piru. Okay, and I got close family members, but then I also had cousins mainly. That was East Side Piru down in San Diego. And so my dad, at a certain point, midlife crisis, and he's dressed in all red. I remember too when that transition happened, dressing all red and black and throwing up gang signs and shit. Then he would take pictures. You know, he's in his 40s. No disrespect, but I'm almost 50, so I can reflect back and I know it was like a midlife crisis type of shit. So she sees some of those pictures when he's throwing up gang signs, and she posted it, and she said, look at Lennon, his dad is the blood and blah, blah. So fucking, even if he was, so what? Many on the chat room have family members that was gang banging. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of family members and friends too, a gang of friends too growing up. Some of y'all in here was gang banging. Real talk. Crap. No, just playing. I'm just playing. The point is that's the type of stuff that I had to deal with back then, you know. And that woman rested in peace, but she was riding hard for Umar, you know. Yeah, but the bottom line is I'm still here. The Cookie Crush chat is still here and rising. The numbers have been rising, and more people are waking up to who Umar Johnson is. And at the end of the day, we're gonna do this damn thing. Real talk. Thank you so much again, Laura. I appreciate the super chat. Okay. Louis Sucks says that woman looks like Sharon. No, she don't. She don't look like Sharon. No, she don't look like Sharon at all. What you talking about? Louis? Like you tripping. Sharon was Umar. She don't be around anymore, but she was one of Umar's diehard early on. But I ain't seen her in a long time. This lady, what was her name again? I can't remember what the young lady's name is, but she don't look like Sharon. Cut it out. You tripping. James says, LOL, Umar finally was living like a king with this 8,000 square feet gym apartment. Let me tell y'all though, real quick, there was a time where Umar was trying to turn the gym, some of those rooms, because there's these small rooms inside that small gym. He was trying to turn that into his office, but he was going to be living in there. You guys remember that? So it was a bunch of shenanigans. You know, he was saying, yeah, we're going to get this together first, and we're going to start in here and blah, blah, blah. He hasn't shown that small gym in years. And the reason why, and I have pictures, is because he's turned that into his personal storage too. It's just a whole bunch of shit stacked on top of each other. Before, that gym was completely clear. So all of the money that you donors have sent, you've established the FDMG self-storage. What do you want to call it? The FDMG self-storage center, because it's more than one storage. He took since 2019, the large building on that side of the street that he hasn't done anything with, he put all of his personal belongings in there. That's where the vandalism took place years ago, that he says took place recently to get money out of y'all. But then that small gym that he was working on, and at a certain point he was trying to turn it into his own he was trying to live in there. He was homeless. Well, he's turned that into his own personal storage space. And it's just now, it used to be cleared out. Now it's just shit stacked all over the place. And it's just it's crazy. I got pictures of that. See? So that's what you've contributed to. In essence, it's not to a school to educate black boys. Not one black boy has been educated to date. Not one. How do you get, in my estimation, as the preeminent researcher into Umar Johnson, as the most requested, let me stop. My best estimate is $2.6, $2.7 million. What I can prove as a bare minimum from 2018 to 2024 is $1,677,860 as a bare minimum. So let's just take that. And let's take the purchase price of about 400,000. Let's say 420,000. Okay, we're going to bump that down to, we'll go to $1.2 million. So you guys have, what has happened is $1.2 million as a bare minimum of your donors' money has gone towards Umar opening up his very own FDMG Black Conscious Storage Center. And not one black boy has been educated. Thanks, James. Bryson says FDMG family the money gone. That's the classic one. Everyone's using that one. That's from years ago. Family the money gone. And it is. It is. That money is gone. It's been long gone. Umar's been I mean, he's living donation to donation. You know how people do paycheck to paycheck? Trust me, I understand. I know. Umar is donation to donation. In fact, Lene, she sent me some receipts where I can't remember what it was. Umar was supposed to do a reservation or something like that. And I can't remember exactly. I'm just paraphrasing here. Okay. But Umar couldn't even come up with the money right away. He had to scramble around to get money to move over to different accounts so that he can get stuff set up. Well, what does that tell you? Well, he ain't got money like that. So all this donation money, where's it gone? Have we seen $1.2 million as a bare minimum of renovation work up there at these abandoned buildings? And again, that $1.2 million would be left over. And that would be just, we're not counting 2014, 15, 16, 17. He's a con man. That money been gone. Thank you, Bryson. Holly B says, I wasn't my dad's official caretaker, but I cared for him his last year. I didn't travel because I needed to be accessible. He's not caring for her. There's no way that he can. See, you can't be at two places at the same time, especially if you're dealing with something where it's physical and manual. Okay, again, if you're over the internet, you're talking to someone, I get that. But in this scenario, when we talk about caring for his mother, it's largely a physical task that needs to take place. Yeah, it's emotional. I get all that too, but this is largely a physical task. Things that have to be done for her because she can't do for herself physically. She can't do it for herself, right? Well, you can't do that over the internet. You can't do that while you're over in Africa. You can't do that while you're over in the UK. You can't do that while you're in South America. You can't even do that while you're traveling in the United States of America, right? So even if we look at Umar in terms of his travel schedule in the past, with him traveling all over the place and being gone, he was gone over in Africa for a month. How is he taking care of his mama for a month while he's over in Africa? Then he comes back, begs for money, and goes back for about a week and a half. Okay, who's taking care of his mama? See, it's not even physically possible to do that. But Umar will lie to his donors and say, hey, listen, his followers, listen, I take good care of my mama. No, he ain't even there most of the time. He's traveling most of the time. Umar spends most of his time traveling. He's not doing anything at FDMG. He's not taking care of his mama. That's why he gets women to come and take care of his mama, because he know he gonna be gone. Ain't no telling how many women he done this to over the years. Ain't no telling. Because he spends most of his time traveling. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And he wants to act like he's a primary caretaker. No, he just wants to be in control of his mother because he's a megalomaniac. He wants to be in control of her finances. He wants to be in control of who comes to see her. He won't let his siblings. He won't let his siblings see her. He won't let any of the family members see her. He wouldn't even let his mama's mama come and see his mama before his mama passed away. Rest in peace. What kind of shit is that? That's demonic. That's sad. And this is y'all's prince. This is y'all's principal. This is y'all's black leader. Thanks, Holly B. James says, Umar, Michigan 3 times. What are you talking about? Sometimes you say, y'all be saying stuff, I don't understand what y'all talking about. Michigan 3 times. Did he say Michigan? I don't know. Thanks, James. Miss K says, did you see the $3,000 judgment Umar has against him? He was sued for breach of contract in 2021 by Donna Murray. I'm familiar with all of that. Umar, he's a user and abuser, and he's used a lot of people, and he owed people money that he used and never paid them. And this is one of the people that he did that to. See? If we go back to 2019 and we look at videos of people who were around back then, most of them, 90%, 95%, you don't see them around anymore. That's because Umar's a user and abuser. I can pull up receipts on this right now. Umar had people doing all kinds of stuff for him. And in some cases, they did it for free. But then in other cases, you know, he had promised him things. In some cases, he said he was going to pay him, and he never did. Well, that's how Umar is. He's greedy. He tries to keep money. He wants to hoard money. It reminds me of Smaug in The Hobbit. See, they want that gold, and they just want to hoard it. It's not like they're going to spend it, but they just want to hoard it. But Umar's the same way. He don't want to put money. He don't want to give anybody any money for what they do when he promises it. He wants to figure out a way to get up out of that. Sometimes he may pay people, but I'm sure he owes a lot of people a lot of money at this point. I'm absolutely sure of it, and he don't care. See, there'd be people who are his diehards, and ultimately what he does is he betrays them, and he's done this over and over and over again. He burns bridges. And that's Umar. Thanks, Miss K. User 225 says he ate McDonald's in his sleep. Yeah, I know which one you're talking. I can't put, because we got to get to the video. We already almost 2 hours in. My God, and I said we're going to get right into it, but every single time. Okay, we got 2,747 people in the building. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. There is a poll question here. What do you think about Umar's sexually explicit comments? 8% said it's no big deal. 19% said it's concerning. 20% said it's really bad. 53% said it proves that he's a nasty freak. Okay, make sure you get your vote in on that poll during this live stream. And if you're enjoying the live stream and you haven't hit the like button already, take the time. To take you about 2 seconds to hit that like button. We're already over 1,000 likes, so that's great. But the more likes we get, the more this will kick inside the algorithm, and then more people ultimately see this, and then we get more people coming over. You guys have been doing a fantastic job of hitting that like button, and the numbers have been going up and up and up. So thank you so much. The subscribers have been going up too. Okay, so I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I don't have time to show it in this, but in the future, just remind me. I'll pull it up, because that's just another example of Umar lying. He came up with a whole fantastic story about the McDonald's. Thank you, 225. Thanks, Miss K, as well. Dr. Fratt says, what did Lene mean when she wrote Umar went dark after college? I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what she meant by that, because going dark could mean that he went incognito, but it can also mean that he just kind of went into the dark side. That could, I don't know. But again, remember, Dr. Fratt, Umar was in college pursuing different degrees for 20 years. So that would make more sense if we look at when he gets out of college. That was in 2012 when he got his PsyD. And if you look at Umar in terms of the timeline, yeah, that's when stuff really started to kind of go left for this guy, at least publicly. And stuff was already bad privately, but I'm talking about publicly. He started getting into different issues, and his reputation started to precede him. He started getting into different beefs, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Here we're on 2025. It's really, really bad. So that may be what she's talking about. Okay, thank you, Dr. Fratt, for the super chat. James says, no one fights the narcissist corner harder than a love bomb new supply. Yeah. Umar, he's strategic with it. He's always looking for new marks. He's always looking for new people to manipulate and control and to exploit. That's the key word, is exploit. He's exploitive. Okay. If I asked you guys, what has Umar given that's substantive? I'm not talking about him running his mouth. What has Umar given to the Black community? What can you tell me? I'm talking about something that's substantive, tangible. What has he given? He hasn't given a school. He's a taker. That's why he always says, and you know this, James, he always says, I need. I want. Get on your cash. Everything's a command too. Get on your Cash App. Get on your PayPal. Back in the day, get on your GoFundMe. Back in the day, get on your Plum Fund. Send your checks, send your money orders. Back in the day to Philadelphia P.O. Box. Now it's the one in Wilmington. He's a taker. And it's crazy because he's a taker, but he's not a doer. It'd be different if you received and then you gave by producing something of consequence, something that's tangible. But Umar has not done that. So that's why he's always looking for a new supply. That's a narcissist dream. Okay. Thanks, James. A host on the Cook says, Leonard, I have to ask, in a recent video, did a mentally compromised woman claim Umar made her do something against her will? Was it ever reported? Yes, that was the claim. I haven't spoken with that woman. And to the best of my knowledge, no, that can't be true because people were talking about it back in the day. I haven't seen anyone pull that receipt in a long time, years. There's a woman that came forward and she explained how she was in the wheel. She was handicapped. I don't want to use that term, but she was in a wheelchair because she had a stroke and it impacted her on different levels, including her speech. And she had reached out to Umar, like a lot of women do, reached out to Umar via phone, probably text messages at first, but then because he gives out his phone, that's why he gives out his phone number, because that extends his reach to find new marks, right? To find a new supply. That's why he does that. So she reached out to Umar and had a conversation. Ultimately, they met up and she wanted to talk with him about certain things, but he didn't. Well, that's not what he wanted. He wanted what he wanted. And based upon what the woman said, allegedly, that he took what he wanted. Sad. Okay. And again, am I saying that it took place? No. Do I believe her? Yes. Right. That's why I beep it out. That's even strategic with the way that I did that. Okay. I know what I'm doing. All right. Do I believe her? Absolutely. Do I think that he's done that to other women? Absolutely. See, I've just held back on that receipt because I haven't verified it. And I've always been of the opinion that if I can't verify it, then I'm not going to put it out there. But there's a caveat to that. When Umar oversteps certain boundaries, then I'll let something loose. This makes sense? And he overstepped a boundary. He thought that it was strategic on his part. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Recently, he overstepped some boundaries. And I said, okay, well, let's go here. That's what you call being a strategist. I'm strategic about these things. Okay. Now, Umar, he's hurt a lot of people. He's manipulated a lot of people. He's conned a lot of people. And overwhelmingly, he's sexually exploited a lot of Black women. You guys have no clue, because there's women that have reached out to me even more recently with stories. They just don't want to come forward. Okay, I get it. That's fine. In your own time, if you ever want to, you're welcome to come on. LenonHonor@yahoo.com. Okay. Right? There is no rush in the sense that if a person doesn't feel ready, that they should have to. Right? It's totally up to them. However, when these things are not brought to the light, then sometimes it allows, I'm saying sometimes it allows the perpetrator, in this case, Umar Johnson, to continue to engage in that type of behavior. And then he ultimately manipulates and exploits other victims. See, that's one of the things that I can tell y'all. Umar is a bully. And for him, he has bully tactics for the women that he's exploited. That's why he tells them to send pictures and nude pictures, that type of thing, because he uses that to hold as leverage against them. You guys understand what I'm saying? So if you come out, I'm going to dox your picture. That's what she did with Lene. But Lene's like, okay, you want to go there? Let's go. Extreme courage. Okay? And then he tries to bully the people who speak out against him, including myself. He tried to bully me, but I'm the person who bullies the bully. I don't care how big you think you are or how bad you think you are or who you think you are. I'm not the one. And that's not the fire alarm, because that's the beans that was on the thing. It's a crock pot, but one of them, the new type ones, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks also to the cooks. I bought that for my wife for her birthday years ago, and we love that thing. Thanks, host, because back in the day, you had to put the beans on for hours. You'd be making them beans for like the whole day. You put in this thing, Instapot. It's called an Instapot. Them bad boys be ready in a couple hours. There's a couple of them. And they'd be good too. Thanks, host, because user 225 says, is being as funny as me a green flag? Well, you funny, but sometimes you be saying stuff too. It just goes too far, especially with, well, you know what I'm talking about. Thanks, user 225. Thank you for the super chat. Tali says, hearing Umar lecture men on how to treat women and children is jaw-dropping once you know who he is. Your laugh is pure joy, by the way. I bet Umar hates it. Yeah, real quick. It is, Umar, he's a hypocrite. You know, because he does speak a lot about what women should be doing, how men should be treating, how black men should be treating black women, what black men need to be doing, blah, 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 etc. He be going in on black men sometimes, unless they're abusers or they got some charges coming up on them, right? Then he defends them. But in general, he goes in on black men because he panders to the black women because he knows that that's real talk. That's his target demographic is the black women. So he's strategic about that. But if you guys notice what he tells black men to do, he's not doing any of that stuff in the first place. That's Umar. He's a total hypocrite. See, but he panders to black women because he knows that he can get more money out of them. He knows that he can exploit them easier because most black men ain't gonna have big dump. Let me stop. Anyway, it's just not gonna happen. See, but he knows how to manipulate women. He knows how to prey upon their fears, especially if they're single mothers and they have sons, the prison school to prison pipeline and blah, blah, blah. Let's go, all this stuff. He knows what he's doing. See, but the stuff that he says black men should be doing for black women, how we need to be marrying them and how we need to be committing, taking care of them, blah, blah. He don't do none of that stuff. And then the other thing about my laugh, thank you for the kind words. If you guys know, when we first started doing these live streams on Umar's many years ago, it was all serious and stuff. So I wasn't doing any laugh. It was like all serious. But the Cookie Crush chat used to cut up and then it's just worn on me. Now we have a good time. The other thing is that you rarely hear Umar laughing, genuinely laughing. You rarely hear that with this guy because he's always uptight and angry about something. You see, I have a good time on this show. I really do. I enjoy y'all. Y'all hilarious. We have a good time. When I'm done, I'm hyped. I know I'll be getting tired sometimes too, but when I get done, I'll be like, yeah, we had a good show. We have a good time. I think it's important to have the laughter too, and the brevity and not brevity. That's another word. That's another one. But the levity. Have the levity here and a bit of comic relief because this is not an easy topic. It's very dark too. Umar's a very dark. He has a lot of darkness in him. He does. He's like a Sith Lord, and I see it clearly. So that's not something that you can take lightly, but you should infuse a level of light and make it humorous because it's more easy. It's easier to digest that way. Otherwise, we would get bogged down. This guy, he's been involved in so much crazy madness, and it's still to this day is one thing after another. Thanks, Tally, for the super chat. Thanks for the kind words too. I appreciate it. Iceman Vamp says a lot of new people here. They don't know about Dusty. Don't call him that. Don't call him that. Now let me take that off. Umar is a youth. Why you got to do that? Umar he's a user and abuser. And he had people that were doing all kinds of stuff for him, painting the gym, painting the outside. I should pull the video up. We ain't got time, but I should pull up the videos. I can show you guys. He had people out there doing the lawn without a lawnmower. It looked like slavery. How you gonna do your own people like that? And these are his big time followers. He uses and abuses them, takes advantage of them, and then discards them. That's Umar. Thanks, Iceman Vamp. Jonathan says, Lenny, could you do the likes bidding war for old? No, not today. Remind me next live stream, Jonathan. Remind me the next live stream. I'll do it. What I used to do, we used to do. I got good at it too. At first, I was horrible at it. But if you guys go to like an auction, like they're selling like horses or whatever or cows, and I don't know who they call the guy. Like the guy, he's the person that he'd be like, I can't even do it now. I gotta practice it again. Like in this case, we'd be like, okay, we got 1,000, 100,000, 1,000 100 likes. We're trying to get to 1,125. We did 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. We 25. Then someone hit the like button, and I said, okay, we got to 1,126. Can we get? We're trying to get to 1,150. We're trying to go to 150. Can we get another? Can we get another like? Can we get another like? And then people would hit the like button over and over again, and then we would get to go, and then that would be it. Yeah, it would be a challenge too now because it only shows 1,100. So I wouldn't even know where we're at, you know, because the digits don't show. But we would have such a good time with that. Yeah. And he was like, sold to be a DJ Binky Brizzy. Yeah, that was so much fun. Okay, thanks for reminding me that we have so many wonderful memories because we've been doing this for such a long time. Thanks, Jonathan. But if you remind me next time, I can do it. The only thing is that the like button, the way that it is, once we get past 1,000, maybe if we do it earlier on, we can do it that way because then we can see the digits. So I can do it that way. Yeah, remind me next time, but we got to do it earlier on in the show. All right, thanks, Jonathan, for super chat. Yeah, we got a lot of wonderful memories. User 225 says, I'm Asian, but I love a girl who laugh at Umar Johnson. Yeah. User 225, he up in there, he trying to get him an African queen. He trying to get him an African queen. Listen, I understand, my brother. I understand. Thanks, User 225. Pink Lips 77 sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then Dr. Fratbro says, join this collective after the SETI rant in 2017, which helped me to focus on social justice during my doctorate. We've waited a long time for this. Yeah. So you've been around a long time. The SETI rant was really a turning point for Umar in all of my research. The SETI rant was huge. I think that's, in my opinion, that was probably the biggest meltdown, Umar meltdown that I've ever seen. And I think it had the biggest effect in terms of people seeing Umar for who he truly is. Interestingly enough, Lene, who's dealt with Umar personally, she stated that that's not even Umar at 100% when he goes off. Now that's scary. See, that woke a lot of people up the SETI rant. How Umar was talking, the emotional instability, the lack of self-awareness. You know, and it's not that the cursing is bad per se, but what he was saying and how he was using the curse words against SETI and weaponizing things like SETI's skin color. He called him an albino. That opened a lot of people's eyes right there. I think more than anything else in all of my research with Umar, I would say Lene's expose is close though at this point, and it's probably going to overtake that if this keeps going long enough. But that SETI rant right there, that opened a lot of people. Yeah, that was in around 2017. Yeah. Umar, he really went ballistic there, and that it showed a side of Umar that a lot of people were unaware of. I didn't know he was that crazy either. But since that time, as we researched Umar more, we see glimpses of that come up over and over again, and that's really closer to who Umar actually is, as opposed to the persona that he puts out here for the people. Yeah. All right, thanks, Dr. Fratt, and congratulations on that doctorate. We always celebrate success over here. Congratulations, it's awesome. What's up, Sasha? Says, hey, boo, at user 225. Sasha, I knew you like rice. I knew you like rice and soy sauce. I already knew. I could tell right away. I'm just playing. Thank you for the super chat. Trying to make a love connection. You need to cut it out. User 225 says, remember, if you've been with a non-black guy, you're disqualified from dating Umar Johnson. Sisters, if you want to be disqualified, holla at your boy. Well, y'all wild. Y'all wild. Okay. You can probably get a gang of women because they don't want to be qualified. They're going to be texting you. Okay. Thanks, Sister 225. And then James says, that's how Umar be bidding $100 on PayPal. You right about that. Anyone got 100? Everyone got a 200. We got to get you to it. We're trying to get 250, family. Can we get 250? 300. We're trying to get 350. Next time, make it 600. For Cash App, can I get another $1 million? Yeah. For this school in the jungles of Africa. Yeah. Umar has some nerve talking about, can I get another $1 million? Okay, that implies he already had $1 million. And then Sister Avanti sent him, what was it, $20? I always forget. Either she sent him 10, he said, next time make it 20. Was it 10? What kind of man does something like that? That's like, James, you send me 10. I say, okay, James, thank you so much. I know that's all you had. That was your last, but next time make it 20. That's wrong. But that goes to show you, I think it was 10. That's what I think it was. It was 10. Yeah, Rico said it was 10. I hope is that Rico Jackson? Oh, that's Rico. Hey, not Rico Jackson. Okay. Yeah, it was 10, and then it was Sister Avanti, and Sister Avanti sent Umar $10, and Umar was like, next time make it 20. Thanks, James, and I appreciate the 10. Okay, I don't take it for granted. Everybody, thanks you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. I do not take it for granted at all. You guys have blessed me and my family so much. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not spending it on no substances. I don't gamble. Okay, I don't drink. Okay. The money that I make, whether it's at my job or here on YouTube, it goes to my family. Real talk. Okay? I'm just a steward to make sure that we hold on to it long enough to make sure everybody get what they need to get. Okay. Thank you, James. User25 says Umar Johnson's favorite planet. Okay. All right. That's enough. Thank you, User25. After 2 hours, let's get back to the video. Okay, we still got about 2,600 people in the building. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys vote on the poll when you have some time. We got over 1,200 likes. If you're enjoying the show, go on and hit that like button. Okay, let's get back to it. We got to get rolling here. Here we go.
Some queens have put so many miles on their vajayjay.
Oh, Dr. Umar, please.
No, listen, this is real. I'm going to be real.
Be real.
There are women in their 50s
Here he goes.
who are in better vaginal health than women in their 30s.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
What? Umar think he's a gynecologist now. And health has to do with elasticity? What are you talking about, Umar? This guy, he's so perverted. Look at him, sloppy, shoes untied. He's like a big old kid. Look at him.
Yeah.
I've dated women who you would think they were virgins and they over the age of 40. I've dated women under 40.
Okay, when Umar says date, it's not traditional dating. He's saying he's had sexual intercourse. That's what he's talking about. Nasty freak.
You would think they was over the age of 60.
You're so perverted.
Can I introduce
Too many
the thought of
miles
kegels?
on your engine and the transmission will slip.
I don't believe you can tell. I don't think
Yes,
you know.
you can tell.
I don't think you know, Dr.
Listen,
Umar.
biggest mistake women make is y'all think
Shit.
all of a JJ is the same.
John, you better
That is
stop
wrong.
nodding. It's called kegels.
Ladies,
talk about it, Doc.
ladies, listen.
Talk about it, Doc.
Kegels, thank you.
No two are the same. Are you listening?
Kegels.
Now I'm going to have to get a gynecologist on the show.
Listen, no two are the same.
Coochies?
Every woman in this room.
You would know I never had
Listen, every woman in this room has a completely different energy.
What are you talking about?
You have a completely different moisture level.
You know it's bad when I start twitching and shit. you know Umar, he doesn't go too far when I start twitching and shit. That's just man, Umar, yeah. Umar, he's a sick man. This guy is sick. Shout out to information, man. I can't believe Umar talking like this. Let's go.
You have a completely different temperature. Some of y'all stay.
Umar, are you saying that you've done scientific experiments to see what the moisture level is and the heat, what, and the warmth of the vagina? I'm gonna have to Google this shit because I don't know. God, he's so nasty.
Yes, you can tell.
I don't think you know, Dr.
Listen,
Umar.
biggest mistake women make is y'all think all vajayjay is the same.
John, you better
That is
stop
wrong.
nodding. It's called Kegels.
Ladies,
talk about it, Doc.
ladies, listen.
I think she's talking about Kegels.
Talk about it,
Kegels,
I'll be right
thank
back.
you.
No two
Yeah.
are the same. Are you listening? Listen, no two are the same.
Coochies?
Every woman in this room.
You would know I never had
Listen, every woman in this room has a completely different energy. You have a completely different moisture level. You have a completely different temperature. Some of y'all stay cold. Some of y'all get extra hot.
My moisture
Some
level
of
is
y'all
the
extra
highest
dry.
here.
Some of y'all extra wet.
Me.
And the last one
That's me extra wet.
is your tightness.
You extra dry.
Your
One of y'all.
the best cookies in the world. The best.
Well, this is some sick shit right here, man. I'm sorry. Let me go back.
Never had
Listen, every woman in this room has a completely different energy. You have a completely different moisture level. You have a completely different temperature. Some of y'all stay cold. Some of y'all get extra hot.
My moisture
Some
level
of
is the
y'all extra
highest
dry.
here.
Some of y'all extra wet.
Me.
And the last one
That's me extra wet.
is your tightness.
You extra.
This is sick. See the objectification?
Dry.
Your
One of y'all.
the best cookies in the world. The best peach cobbler you can ever have.
Here.
Y'all listening, late? The best peach cobbler on earth.
Earth.
It is extra hot. It is extra wet, and it is extra tight.
What? This is y'all's principle? This is who gonna help raise the black boys and educate the black boys?
And the worst peach cobbler in the world is extra cold, extra dry, extra loose.
Damn.
I said black queens forever.
Snow bunnies never.
Snow bunnies never. And this is why black women gotta stop telling men how many partners. Listen to me, ladies. This is game. Never tell a man when is the last time you've been with another man.
We know that.
No, but women do it all the time.
Yeah,
we don't. Y'all volunteer. I ain't been with nobody
We
in 3 years.
volunteer lies.
I ain't been with nobody in 3 years, and you ain't got no walls.
3 seconds before we started chatting.
But this the thing though, when y'all trying to impress us, y'all just turning us off because I never asked you that.
This is the thing.
And you know
I'm
why
not
we?
giving it up
And
like
why
that
do we not
anyway.
need to know? You know why you don't?
Because it's none of your business.
But even more than that, as a man,
why?
You know why I don't need to know?
Because you want to feel like you the only guy I've ever had.
Let him answer.
He asked me.
Listen, when I enter your sacred waters.
See how he's framing it as if it's with her? He's saying you're. See, this is running game right here.
When I enter your caramel. When I
See, yeah, he's doing it to all the women, I guess, that are in the audience here. And he again, objectification, but also classifying them based upon their skin color, and he gives them flavors. But he's doing, this is what I mean by as a predator, he's filling the room to try to see who would be receptive to this. So he's phrasing it as if they're engaged in some sort of sexual activity. When I'm in your, see this?
Into your dark cinnamon, when I enter your butterscotch cream, I'm going to have a very pretty good idea on when the last time somebody swam in this ocean.
That's a myth.
It ain't no myth. It is not no myth.
I just don't believe
it. Is not no. Listen, there was a woman I was going to marry.
Here he go.
I can't tell her story. I care about it. Well, let me give it. Okay.
Spare her, but tell the story.
Okay. I went on a trip out the country. I was in love with her. This is here in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he lying.
I said to myself, when I come back from this 30-day trip, if that right, we getting engaged.
Okay.
Because this was her final test.
That was
30 days.
That was simple.
Wait, he went to Africa for a month recently, right? Is he trying to talk about? Is he trying to say this is Lene? Okay, before we get so backed up, real quick, I'll do these real quick. Lennon, show the new folks Miguel. Okay, I'll do that, Miguel, because people are probably wondering who's Miguel Jackson. Yeah, I gotta find it, but yeah, I'll find it. If I don't find it for this live stream, I'll have it for the next one for sure. Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. Thanks, Brian. High vibe. I'll do these quick. In the early days, did Umar ever cite the research of Naeem Akbar or Joanna Kunjufu, or has he ever been on panels with real black scholars? He's never been on panels with real black scholars in my research. He was on a panel with, I can't remember his name right now, because we were talking about him yesterday. He's out of, might have been the day before yesterday. He's out of Philadelphia. Recently he was on the Joe Budden podcast defending Umar. I can't remember his name, but he was on a panel with him long time ago. This is one of the early videos that I found of Umar, but they were really young back then. But I will say this, high vibes, that Umar, a lot of his early talking points was based upon Joanna Kunjufu's work. See, even before Umar started to yell and scream and repeat stuff over and over again, the way that he would present his information was in line with Joanna Kunjufu. In fact, I can actually pull up the video where, and he's passed recently, so rest in peace, if I'm right on that. I think he did. Matter of fact, let me make sure before I go on, because I don't want to. Or it might have been Naeem Akbar, but I think it was Kunjufu. Yeah, it's not coming up for some. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, but the video came up, the video that I was talking about. Yeah, he passed in April. Yeah, he passed in April. Yeah, so rest in peace to him. But if you guys go and look at his early videos, there's a video on YouTube of Joanna Kunjufu, and look at how he presented his information, his mannerisms, and everything else. Umar, he mimicked that early on. Okay, he went away from that over time. But early on, and a lot of his talking points were based upon Joanna Kunjufu's work, including the conspiracy to destroy black boys. So Umar's The War on Black Boys is based upon the conspiracy to destroy black boys. Umar's post-traumatic slavery disease is based upon Dr. Joyce DeGruy post-traumatic slavery disorder, or vice versa, whichever one it is. He's a plagiarist in these regards. So what I'm getting at is that Umar, it's not that he cites these individuals where he gives them credit, but he's taken their information, especially early on, and he spoke about it as if it was his own. And then instead of calling it conspiracy to destroy black boys, he would say the war on black boys. And let me just get this right real quick. Dr. Joy DeGruy, and he still does this to this day. Post-traumatic slavery, the syndrome, that was Dr. Joy's seminal work. Well, Umar took that and then he called it post-traumatic slavery disease. Okay, but in terms of him interacting with real black scholars, no, it doesn't happen. Thanks, High Vibes, for a super chat. User 225 says Umar Johnson can't talk. His cookies got Toyota Prius. All right. This y'all principle. Yeah, it's amazing that people hold this guy in high regard, but he talks so recklessly, and the sexual stuff, it's just way over the top. It's not normal. He's a sexual deviant. It's not normal at all. Thanks, Brian 2.0 for the super chat. What's up, Dave? Dave says, my man on the left ain't had none since it had you ain't had none since it had you. Yeah, the guy on the left, he's just laughing. He laughed. I don't even think he asked any questions yet. Or yeah. Anyway, thanks, Dave, for the super chat and for the humor. I appreciate it. Tink Gee says one video he said we will have 5, but refer 10 will we will have 5 but prefer 10. We'll take 10 but prefer 20. We'll take 20 but prefer 100. Ridiculous sense of entitlement. Yeah, I have that video. There's a couple of videos where he does that. So he'll say something like, give what you can. Whatever you can give. If you can give 5, that's great, but I would prefer 10. And if you can give 10, that's great, but I would prefer 20. And he just keeps going up and up and up. Yeah, that's right. This is a sense of entitlement. Umar, he's narcissistic because narcissists feel entitled. They have the sense of entitlement, including they feel entitled, in Umar's case, entitled to other people's money. And in Umar's case, entitled to black women's vajayjay with impunity. He really believes that all black women want him. And that's the entitlement part, because then it justifies in his mind that he can have whoever he wants to. That's why he can see what kind of man will get on a platform and say, when I enter you, to a woman. That's a sexual deviant that has a sense of entitlement. And then he goes to the other woman over here. He calls her caramel, whatever it is, when I enter you. Who does that? Then he goes to this other woman who's darker skin, says, and chocolate, when I enter you. Who does that? It's a sense of entitlement. And that's very dangerous. Very dangerous. See, I want you guys to understand, serial killers, they have a sense of entitlement. Serial R-worders, if you guys catch my drift, they have a sense of entitlement. Well, Umar Johnson does too. Really think about that for a moment. Because I'll be watching that CSI shit. They be having a sense of entitlement. Some of them think that the other people's lives aren't as worth. That's why they can do whatever they want to the other people in their own mind is justified. They don't have any remorse whatsoever because they feel like they're entitled to that because their life is so much more valuable than these other people that they're exploiting or hurting or murdering or essaying. Well, Umar has the same mentality. It's very dangerous. And it applies to money, other people's money. He don't have a job. He hasn't worked consistently since 2010, 2011, but he feels entitled to other people's money. That's Umar. Thanks, Tinky. And then what's up, Brian says, doesn't Umar know big head babies come out the birth canal? I know, he's stupid. God constructed the canal to always regain its shape. So what is he talking about? He don't know what he's talking about. And real talk, listen, men, it shouldn't matter. Well, I guess it would matter for some men, the quote unquote tightness, but I mean, it's so superficial. The thing is that for some of us men, it doesn't matter. If y'all catch my drift. But even still, within the context of a loving relationship, that's not something that you're even thinking about, right? But if you out here like a sexual freak like Umar, it's gonna matter somehow. And each woman has a different moisture. Who talks like that? That's a principle? That's a black leader. Can you imagine Malcolm talking like that or Mark talking like that? But see, notice everything for Umar is in the context of just sexual intercourse. It's not about a commitment. It's not about, love. You don't ever hear him talk like that. It's not about building anything into the future. It's not about respect. Obviously, it's not about respect. Because you reduce this woman down to how tight her vajayjay is. That's crazy. And how moist and how warm it is. Is that what women are ultimately? Well, to Umar. But for real men, we don't think like that. And we don't roll like that. And good point too, Brian. Thanks for super chat. Great point. Freaky frog. Yeah, he's a freak frog. Nasty. He's so nasty. Well, I'm sorry. I apologize, people. He getting on my nerves. I don't know. We're going to finish this video tonight, though. We've been going for 2.5 hours, but hopefully we can get it done in 30 minutes. Okay, but I ain't coming back to this shit ever again. All right, thanks, Sato. James says, Umar is a male whore. He has women all around the world. He is. And see, that's the double standard, too. Umar, for whatever reason, he's entitled to live this type of life without criticism somehow. But you let a black woman live like this, and all of a sudden she's a whore. And then everybody got something to say, right? Now she's the worst ever. But Umar, he gets on this black. You let a black woman get on here talk like this about black men's private parts. People would be going in on her all over social media. Hit the one. But Umar, he does the same thing, and as a man, he gets a pass somehow. He ain't nothing but a male hoe. I told people that a long time ago. Thanks, James. Boy, I'm sorry. Let me get myself, because I need to get myself. I gotta get pissed off. Ike says, yeah, that's those dead bodies. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, because I've been seeing CSI stuff with that kind of crazy stuff too. All right, thanks, Ike. Jay Scribe says, bruh, and this is yeah, I know. He's the principal. Thanks for that. James says he think they laughing with him. They laughing at him. Yeah, I can tell there is a level of uncomfortability too from the host and from the other guy who's laughing, and probably the audience too. Lene said that Umar doesn't know how to read the room, and I believe that. I think he just gets on this mode of just running his mouth, and he's not really aware of he's not self-aware to recognize, okay, how are people interpreting this right now? See, that no one should be talking like this, period, unless you're a sexual deviant, which he is. Okay. Good point, James. Thank you. Whole Southern Cook says, who wants their kids around this man? Yeah, this is something I've talked about for a long time. See, Umar has no business being around children. Look how he talks. See, here's the thing too, Whole Southern Cooks. Umar talks like he's willing to talk like this in public on a platform that's going to be public. That's what I mean by the self-awareness. See, most people, I would think that if they have this type of sexual, I don't know what, something wrong with him. But if you have that, you're not going to be blaring that out for the rest of the world to know about, right? I would think. But Umar does it with impunity. Why? Because he doesn't have the self-awareness. See? That's what I'm saying. I can't remember who said it, but they said that when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Well, this is Umar showing who he truly is. And he doesn't have the self-awareness to recognize I shouldn't be talking about this. I should be keeping this private or secret. No. He'll let it loose, and he has followers. They'll eat it up like I don't get that. Hey, buddy. Thanks, host of the cooks. Well, super chat. UG5 says we all know Umar isn't in a position to choose. He takes whatever he can get. Yeah, he stays throwing hot dogs down hallways if that's all he has access to. Okay, thanks, UG225. Veracity says if it's extra cold and extra dry, I don't think she's. Oh no, man! I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Yeah, Umar, he's sick. He really is. Who even thinks like that? I mean, this guy really got up there sitting on this couch and looking like a dummy, talking about. He's sick. He's a sick dude. But yeah, I see your point. Yeah, thanks for Veracity Exchange. DJ Scrap Dirty says, sidebar, I'm day one. This is sidebar, I'm day one. This is a LenonHonor film day one. Okay, well, shout out to you. Thank you so much, DJ Scrap Dirty. Yeah, some of y'all been around for a really long time. I appreciate it. So there's a lot of new people too. You guys welcome. Hope you're enjoying the show. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And then Just Art in Paint says he loves 304s. He is not equipped for a queen. Well, listen. Umar, he's already stated that he's never lived with a woman. So a part of what's revealing about that is that it illustrates what I've been saying, that Umar, and I've never heard him talk about being in a long-standing relationship either at the age of 50. Okay, those two things in and of itself, you put those two things together and you got a problem. There's something else going on with this guy. He's not interested in a loving relationship. He's not interested in the so-called queen, even though he says that all the time, right? My queen and queen this, and we need to treat them like queens. No, he treats black women like whores. That's what he does. In essence, that's how he sees you guys. And yet you have black women as his main support base. Like I said earlier, you can't have it both ways. You want to be treated like a queen, and yet you defend someone who treats you like a whore. But he's not treating me like that. Okay, but you're okay with him treating other black women like whores? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Umar is so down low, and I shouldn't say it that way. He's so down and dirty. Okay, Umar is so down and dirty that he's not even worthy of being with a woman. Real talk, on any level. He's a disgrace. And how he's talking in this video is all anyone would need to see to recognize that as being the case. He's a disgrace. He's despicable. He's one of them P. Diddy freak off type of thing. That's what he's into. That's why he's talking like this. Anyway, boy, I tell you, Okay, let's get going. Thanks, Just Art and Pain. I appreciate you, chat. What's up, Jalil? Sent in a super sticker. I appreciate you, bro. KD says, what made you start doing videos on Umar? I did a video on Umar. It really was on narcissism back in 2014. And I used Umar as an example. And I think I used other people too in the Black conscious space, people who had narcissistic personality traits. I didn't do any deep research in Umar. It's just noticing how he would talk and behave online at that time. The sense of entitlement, the self-aggrandizement, always someone else's fault, that type of thing. But I didn't know much about like FDMG or his history in terms of UNIA or any of that kind of thing. So I did a video to talk about him. And I think I talked about some other Black conscious so-called leaders who were considered, who had, in my opinion, at least at that time, had narcissistic personality traits. Because at that time I was studying narcissism. It wasn't until 2018 that I started to do Umar Johnson videos. Towards the end of 2018, I think that's when I became consistent at doing it. And then by 2019, I was spending a lot of time, relatively speaking, doing Umar Johnson videos. So in terms of starting to do it, specifically dealing with the FDMG school scam, there was different issues. That one of the issues was I did these videos where I was talking about the black conscious con artists. And I think if memory serves me correctly, I talked about Polite back then. Jay Morrison hadn't come into to fame at that time. No, maybe he did, but I don't think I talked about him. But I also talked about Umar. And that kind of evolved into later, specifically, because then I started researching into Umar Johnson, FDMG. And I started going back in time, looking at where the origins of this was. I thought it started in 2014 at a certain point, but I was wrong. Then I thought it was started in 2010 because he said in 2010 the school was going to open in 2013, but then I was wrong about that. Later on, the research shows, and even this actually more recently, relatively speaking, it showed that he started FDMG, this idea of FDMG in 2014, and by 2004, and by 2005, he claims that he started working to build FDMG. Okay, so that's like 20 years. Anyway, filling in all of the gaps. At a certain point, I started to track Umar on when he would post on social media, and then we would cover videos over time. At first, it was PowerPoint presentations. I didn't do any videos, but at a certain point, YouTube, it evolved. They actually had we can live stream on YouTube and do like PowerPoint presentations. I was doing that. I don't think they have that service now, but they do. You can still live stream on YouTube. And then that evolved even further. Now I'm using StreamYard, and I've been pretty consistent since that time. But that's why I started doing Umar videos on Umar, because I was talking about the Black conscious space and different scam artists in the Black conscious space. And part of what I was talking about too was how they would exploit Black women too. That's why when I talk about this topic here, even now it bothers me. Because it's just a horrible thing to do. They take advantage all under this idea of Black consciousness or what have you. And because I brought up Umar, at a certain point, I started to kind of follow what he was doing. And then I picked it up, and then I've been consistent. For the most part, I've been consistent. I've taken breaks from time to time. Okay, so that's the story. Thanks, KD. Agilil says, hey, Cooker Chat, I'm late, but did LenonHonor say we wouldn't be here long in the beginning? Hit the one if he did. Yeah, I did. We're already 2 hours and 42 minutes in, but we're gonna try to get this done within the next 20 minutes. All right, we're gonna try. The Eric, what's up, arrogant people? Thanks for super chat too. Arrogant people says sounds like a teen who just started getting some. Yeah, Umar, he's in a state of arrested development. When he talks about sex and sexual intercourse, it's like a teenager doesn't know what they're talking about, and their hormones are raging. That's Umar. Real talk, I actually think, arrogant people, that what Umar is doing is he's trying to make this extremely sexual to see what the host, how her response is. And if she responds to it in a particular way, he in his own mind, he can see her as a target to sexually exploit. That's what I think he's doing here. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. Odette says he has the brain of a prepubescent teenager. That's what we were just saying. And that's what arrogant people was saying. He's in a state of arrested development. And it's dangerous when you have someone who has this level of arrested development, and they're 50, and they have platforms where they're reaching literally millions of people around the world, and a lot of those people are women. Very dangerous. See, that's why there's hundreds and hundreds of women out there that Umar has sexually exploited. Some of them have come out already to speak about it. Hopefully more will speak about it in the future. Okay, they always have a place here if they want to come forward. Thanks, Odette, for the super chat. Eric Pleasant says, hold on, I work the night shift. Joe just woke up. What did the Prince of Weird Shit do now? Well, listen, if you about to be on the night shift, just make sure, what I would do is I would just not watch the rest of this. Just wait till you start your shift, and then go ahead and play from the beginning. Okay, that'll get you about 4 hours through the shift based upon how we're progressing today. And we're gonna do a short show, but that'll get you probably by the time we're done, it'll get you about 4 hours through the shift. All right, thanks, Eric Pleasant. Have a good shift too. All right. There's a lot of people, they say that I watch your videos, that gets me through my shift, or when I'm working on something or I'm cleaning up the house, I just put it on because they're long so I can just enjoy a while. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I've been doing more shorter videos too, and my subscriber count has gone up in views. So I'm gonna continue with that. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be uploading. It's already uploaded, but it'll go live tomorrow. It's a shorter video. I think it's like 16 minutes. User 225 says Umar prides himself as better than women. Thus, he can't stand the idea of a woman being loose because, God forbid, his goosey isn't the loosiest. Yeah, the thing is, Umar, he shouldn't be talking like that anyway. I mean, it's just thoroughly inappropriate, and no real man talks about the woman's vajayjay like that. I'm talking about a man. We don't talk like that, you know. And it's not even scientifically accurate. I mean, he's talking crazy. See, more importantly, the focus should not be on how moist, how elastic, or quote unquote loose, or how warm a woman's vajayjay is. That should be, that's not the point. The point, really, what the focus should be on, building a relationship. See, that should be the point, building something into the future. See, not that sex is something that you're entitled to, but it's something that can come out of the result of, you know, being in a loving relationship and having respect for a woman, right? But Umar doesn't see it that way. That's why he speaks so disrespectfully about them and about their vajayjay. What kind of man does that? He's sick. Thanks, User 225. He's so sick. Black Wolf says, let's remember, you said you were done making Umar videos, and the very next day, Umar made a video threatening you, so you kept it rolling, made me happy. Yeah, that's part of the history too. See, I was done doing Umar Johnson videos, and then I don't know if it was the next day, it may have been, I can't even remember, but he comes back and he does a video where he's threatening me. I said, all right. One of his biggest mistakes. I said, all right. Because, see, I'm not going to be punked. And he's a bully. I don't play that. I'll bully the bully. I know people say that in this cliche, but I'm serious about that. And listen, I don't play that. I'm not going to be punked by no man. Ain't going to let nobody bully me. I don't care who it is, unless it's a crocodile. Real talk. I don't like crocodile and alligator. That's why you ain't going to catch me in Florida. You crazy people down there, y'all crazy. Yeah, we're going to go swimming. I said, no, I'm not. But it's a pool. I said, I don't care. It's probably alligator in there, at least a baby one. They did those. Anyway, but that's what he did. And these are the consequences and repercussions. Real talk. All right. Thanks, Black Wolf. Ari sent in the super sticker. Thank you so much, Ari. I appreciate it. Papa D says, what's the most you made one day in super chats? I don't know exactly. I know because I've been breaking records. I don't want to put the figures out there. I can say that the most amount of super chats, I think it was about 140 something. I think we did that a couple of days ago. I mean, it's been crazy, you know, recently, and I appreciate it. But I'm not going to put numbers out there. And I would have to actually look to see exactly how, because they break it down based upon their just from a business standpoint, just to be clear. So super chats is part of it. Also, there's AdSense. So that means how many ads are placed in a video and how many times those ads are viewed by people. And I can tell you that you can make a lot of money on that. That's why my longer videos are good for me, because there are people, they'll actually over time. I mean, they may not watch it in one sitting, but let's say over the course of a week or over the course of 2 weeks, they'll watch the whole thing. But then there's ads that are going to be placed, as opposed to having one video where there's one ad or two ads. It's one video that's longer. And I mean, it can run, I don't know, 10, maybe even 20 ads at a certain point, depending on the length of it. So from a business standpoint, that's part of how things are calculated. But I don't want to put numbers out there. I don't think that's apropos. But I will say this, that I do make good money here on YouTube, and I'm very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the support that I receive. I don't take it for granted. That's why I always take time to acknowledge people who decide to send in their super chat or super sticker. Sometimes people send CashApp, PayPal. I try to thank them too. I don't really have it. Well, on CashApp I can, but for PayPal it's a little difficult, a little more difficult. But I don't take it for granted at all. I don't. I always take the time. There were people who used to complain about that. And there's people who still do from time to time. They say, well, you waste a lot of time, acknowledging people who send in super chats. I said, no, what do you mean wasting time? See, them sending a super chat, that's represented in their time, because time is money and time is life. So if they're willing to give of their time, then I should at least take the time to thank them. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm not like Umar. I don't feel entitled. I don't ask for super chats. Matter of fact, when I first started doing Umar videos, they didn't even have super chats, but I wasn't even monetizing those videos. See? But over the years, once YouTube, they had monetization for super chats. People said, yeah, well, let's do that. And they said, put up your cash. I don't actually put it on the screen or anything, but I do have it listed in my description for these videos, Cash Apps and PayPal. And that's just what people wanted to support, and so if they want to do that, if y'all do that, I'm going to take the time to acknowledge. That's why I feel bad whenever I miss super chats, because I want to make sure I acknowledge everyone. Thanks, Papa D, for super chat. Karen says he shouldn't be talking loose after that finger. Hello, he got some nerve, don't he? Umar, you into that freaky stuff, but you got everything to say about the women's, like you a gynecologist. Umar think he's a gynecologist. Y'all don't think that that's weird? Listen, real talk, I ain't never seen no man talk like this. And I highly doubt that any of you men, assuming that you're heterosexual, I highly doubt that you would be talking about the vajayjay. I don't even think a homosexual dude would be talking about the vajayjay like that. Real talk. Something wrong with this guy. He's a freak. Thanks, Kiara. And he does it so, he don't even care. He's no self-awareness whatsoever. La Holmes, or LA Holmes, La Holmes, sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then Black Wolf said, Cook Crush at OG, keep up the great work, Lennon. Another note, we have some fine super queens in. Super queens in the Cookie Crush chat, ladies. Lennon, hit the super queens. You ain't lying. I'm married. I'm good. Me and my wife, we've been together. We about to be 25 years in next April, I believe. And when we had our marriage ceremony about 21 years ago. So I'm good, but I notice. Ain't nothing wrong with looking. That's the thing, man. But don't take, if you got a woman and you married, don't take it too far. Don't be being like Umar, rub it on your belly and shit. You see these fine super queens. So all these fine super queens in the chat room who start rubbing on your belly. Don't be doing that now, okay? Now, if you're single, that's fine. All right. I wrote a song. It was I can't even remember it. Are you a super queen, baby? If you know what I mean, baby. Oh, are you a super queen? Yay. I can't remember what the lyrics were. She's your queen. I'm making this up. She's your queen. And she's, if you know what I mean, hit the one. No, I'm just playing. She's your queen. Oh, she's your queen. All right. Anyway, thanks, Black Wolf, for being a member for 56 months. Jonathan Chris said, Bumpy Lip Johnson. Don't do him like that. Bumpy Lip Johnson shouldn't be talking about. That's real talk. I ain't gonna do him like that. But Umar, you shouldn't be talking about Loosey Goosey, bro. Real talk. Jonathan, I'm still trying to figure out where did he come up with that. Let me type that into Google right quick. A picture of Umar popped up. What in the world? Lene, what you do to this man? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. All right. but there's a picture that says Lucy Boosie. Is that how they said? I even said it wrong. I ain't good because I don't like. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I took it too far. I should have done him like that. Anyway, that's what he gets. And I'm just playing. It ain't got a picture of Umar on here. Well, that's Lene's fault, evidently. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Jonathan. Some people in here don't even know the backstory on that. That's okay. You don't want to know. All right. Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Umar, Michigan, 3-time strong man. What in the world are you talking about? Umar, Michigan. Umar mad right now. He watching this right now. He's so mad. He don't like you. He's at Umar, Michigan, 3-time strong man show. Wow. Y'all know Umar, he used to play football, right? And he would call the play. And he said, what play you want to do? Man jaw. Everybody looked at him and said, what is that? We don't have that play in our playbook. What are you talking about? Which one you say? Man jaw. We won't run man jaw. All right. That's too far. Okay. Let's get back to it, shall we? Thanks, James. Okay. User 225 says, ladies, imagine you're at the gynecologist and you hear peace and Pan Africanism. Oh no. Oh man, that's crazy. You hear peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism. This is Dr. King Congalicious. Let me see them cookies. All right, we got to get back on track, everybody. Thanks, user 225. Oh man. Okay. Whew. All right. Thank y'all for your patience. Let's get back to the main video. Thanks everyone for the super chats. Let's get back to the main video. Here we go.
But she didn't know, because you don't tell them. Because if you tell them,
then they going, yeah,
she going to keep it tight just because she know. So I didn't tell them. So I came back 30 days, 30 nights, right? Out the country. I couldn't wait to hit it.
What in the world? This guy.
I go inside my royal waters, and there was water missing.
Yeah, he really tripping.
I said,
this shit
not the way I
now.
left this.
This going too far.
So I looked at her, and I said, my beautiful African queen, who been inside my swimming pool? And she said, nobody. I said, I'm going to ask you one more time. I've been going for 30 days and 30 nights. I know how I left you 30 days ago. Who been?
Yeah, this is so ridiculous. I can't believe this guy. And she said it. You see how I said this is going too far?
In my peach cobbler. And she said, nobody. I said, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I'm going to get dressed, and I'm walking out that door, and I'm never coming back. She said, nobody. I got up, put my clothes on.
Oh, he lying. He making this up on the spot. Can you believe this guy? See, this is the thing. Umar, as a manipulator, he can come up with a lie on the spot. And for some people, it's convincing, especially if you don't know, because even the timeline that he's given, being gone for 30 days and coming back. See, and this will be recently. Okay, well, that's when he went to Africa for 30 days, right? Yeah, he freestyles. Yeah, he's an abusive person. He has an abusive personality. Yeah.
I said, you know what? I was about to marry your ass. You should have saw her face.
Did it hurt?
It
Were
hurt.
you hurt?
I was more hurt because she and them some good ass cookies. She gave them to somebody while I was gone.
This guy's sick.
When I got to the door, she stopped me. And she looked at me, and guess what she said?
Just
How
one person.
did you know?
Oh, that's what she said.
She found.
Anyone in the chat room believe this? If you believe this, hit the 1. If you think he lying, hit the 2.
Because she was so overwhelmed that I knew. She said, was it the way I smelled? No. And let us be clear, ladies, cheaters has a different smell.
What? Cheaters what?
Ladies, y'all need to know that. Did you hear me, princess?
Now that's true.
Cheaters has it. Let me give you the 4 smells of a woman. You want the 4?
Boy, this is crazy. Should we continue with this? We only played, what, about 10 minutes of it so far.
I think I might know him, but go
Ladies,
ahead.
listen to King Kong. Listen to King Kong. You have a scent when you're about to have your menstrual. That's Mother Nature, right?
Yeah.
Every man know that scent. You better hit it tonight because tomorrow
it's over.
It's over. The premenstrual scent. Okay, I better have my fun now. She cheated on me scent. Every woman has a she cheated on me scent. You know when you sniff that yoni when it warm up, somebody else done your pancakes.
This guy. Lene, I don't know what you did to him. I don't know what you did to Umar, but he.
Okay?
Oh, man.
Woman got the, you need to wash your ass scent.
Oh, no, Umar. Don't do this.
Go soak that yoni. Go soak that yoni. And guess what the 4th sin is?
What?
We having a baby.
Oh, okay.
You know, the misinformation that this guy exudes is incredible in the levels of ignorance. And he speaks with conviction. That's so dangerous. You have an ignorant fool freak off, a P. Diddy type freak off, who spends all this time, evidently he spends a lot of time sniffing. Well, we know that too. He be sniffing on other stuff, but he spends a lot of time sniffing down there. My son laughing downstairs. let me watch my mouth. Want to give him no idea. Hey, Dad, what were you talking about? I know what you were talking about. I said, I hope you don't. Anyway, this guy, he comes up with these 4 cents on the spot, and one of them happens to be when a woman's pregnant. What are you talking about, Umar? That's some of the stupidest. I can't believe this guy. Me and my wife, we've had 5 kids. What are you talking about, Umar? He really is. He's a sick individual.
Okay, when she pregnant.
Y'all have a pregnant scent?
We definitely have pregnant scents, for sure.
I dated a woman one time. I told her she was pregnant. She couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I said, you pregnant. And I ain't even touched you yet, so it can't be mine.
Yeah.
Here he go.
King Kong!
He's stupid.
Pregnancy scent, premenstrual scent,
wash
ass scent, and you cheated on me scent. Every woman got them.
They only know 2 of them.
And black men, master the scents of your woman. Because although the scents are generally the same, most of y'all in here will generally have the same scent when them 4 conditions are going on. But sometimes it can be different. If you know your woman's scents, you know your woman.
You go down there and it smell like Fruity Pebbles or lavender. What is your thoughts on that?
It depends, because if you don't normally smell like Fruity Pebbles and lavender, and you smell like Fruity Pebbles and lavender,
He's smart.
Yeah. You trying to hide that dick scent.
Umar, how would you know what that would smell like. Umar, let me holler at you right quick, homeboy. If you're a heterosexual man, how would you know what another man's private smells like? And you got the nerve to call me gay, homeboy. See, where I come from, I'm just talking about where I come from. I don't know how they do it other places. I don't know. That you men in here, if you heterosexual, maybe they do a little differently, but where I come from, we don't talk like that. We don't know what another man's private smell like. That's what I'm saying. So Umar, I don't know what you got going on. Okay, because I always try to give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't know what you got going on. Okay, but you sounding real suspect right now. And you guys know I don't be talking like that. Because if that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. That's your thing. But Umar, you sounding real suspect right now. Hit the one. What kind of man gets on the internet talking about what another man's private parts smell like? Like I said, maybe they do things differently in other places. I don't know, but where I come from, at least my generation, and you, part of my generation, we don't do that. This y'all's principle. Most requested scholar. Big Papa. That Big Papa sound a little fruity. Let me stop. Because no disrespect to the LGBT. Listen, if there's anyone in here and you're homosexual, listen, no disrespect whatsoever. Okay? None. But Umar, he's quick to call other people gay. He called me gay since 2020, consistently. He called me Pastor B and all this stuff. You see, I don't, listen, you say whatever you want to. I know one damn thing. You ain't going to hear those words coming out of my mouth, homeboy. Real talk. Any of you men up in here, that word, them type of words ever come out your mouth? You ever plan on having those words come out your mouth? Hit the 1. I'm talking about you heterosexual men. You ever had those words come out your mouth? You plan on having those words coming out your mouth? Where I come from, we don't talk like that, Umar. You sounding real suspect right now. And I've given you the benefit of the doubt. Lene said some other things too, homeboy. Talking about strong man jaws and all this stuff in the finger, all this stuff up the thing. You sounding and you looking real suspect. Now, if that's your thing, fine. It don't make me no difference. I just think that it's ironic that you would call other people gay, but this is how you talking. Ain't no heterosexual man that I've ever met in my life, those words are going to come out his mouth, Umar. Am I tripping? See, the thing, real quick, and then we're going to get back to the video. I know we're living in a different time. This is 2025. I get it. See, but Umar's from my generation. You understand what I'm saying? He's from my generation.
You know your woman's sense, you know your woman.
You go down there and it smell like Fruity Pebbles or lavender. What is your thoughts on that?
It depends, because if you don't normally smell like Fruity Pebbles and lavender, and you smell like Fruity Pebbles and lavender,
he's smart.
Yeah, you trying to hide that dick scent.
All right, let's keep going, y'all. Boy, I tell you, I ain't, boy. Let's keep going, man. Now I see why Dear World Christian sent me this.
And woman, don't ever tell your man if you cheated on him. You can't. We don't take it like y'all take it. Y'all take it like a champ.
Oh my God.
Woman take it like a champ. If he didn't marry her,
well,
straight black
nothing.
men, we don't give a damn if you love. Excuse me, if he didn't love her.
Yeah.
Y'all will say, did he love her?
Yeah.
And if he didn't, y'all can deal with that smash
or
and grab.
financial stuff too. We don't like that either.
Right.
Yeah.
But for us, you can say, I didn't love him. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. You cannot even
crush your cookies. We be hurt for life.
Please, you can hold
we
hands and they
life.
y'all we hold hands, y'all get hurt. You can't do nothing.
Oh, we be hurt.
You have to walk a straight line.
And
with
then we
niggas.
say, I want to see who he is, knowing damn well we don't want to see who he is.
Or no, what y'all say that's stupid is, did you suck it? How was it?
No,
Is it better? Yeah, that's what y'all do though. That's not what they do.
First of all, my woman sucked off another man. She's a hoe. H-E-A-U-X.
Listen, Dr.
What the hell you mean you sucked off another man and you cheated? That's a hoe. It's bad enough you gave him the damn peach cobbler. You had to give him a gummy bear too. We done. Oh, we ain't coming back from that. We ain't coming back from. We probably not gonna come back because you gave away my peach cobbler, right? You crawled in my bed with a loose.
See how he's making it personal to her. This is him running game. Everyone be clear about this.
We should be done there. But if I find out you gummy beared his Shango stick, you gummy beared his Shango stick. Oh, we done. We the hell done. I don't care if you take half. In fact, take 95%. I'm never sleeping in the same bed with a woman who gummy beared another man's Shango stick while we was in a relationship. You out your damn mind.
How do you feel about men that do take their woman back that cheat on them? What do you think? I respect it too. I think it takes a real man to be able to get past something petty like that because it's just sex.
It ain't always petty. With
it's very petty.
No, let me explain something to y'all.
It's petty.
No, let me explain something. Men cheat, right? We often cheat because we don't feel appreciated.
Mm.
Women cheat because y'all don't get attention.
Yeah.
And when y'all cheat, y'all tend to need some type of an emotional connection with the cheating partner.
Yeah.
We don't need an emotional connection.
Side,
we need a fat ass.
I fall in love with my side, y'all. Can I tell you a secret?
Y'all need a connection. So if you let him hit, I know you felt some way about that man, unless you a hoe.
I'm not gonna...
He ain't listening to her at all. It's her show. But Umar, he's with the theatrics. He's always with the theatrics.
Not a hoe. You felt something for that man.
Yeah,
women are not made to smash and dash.
That's true.
Unless you a hoe. A hoe will smash and dash. But if she not no hoe, you had a connection.
I do
to that
feel
man.
like women are set up like literally hormonally. We release certain hormones that make us want to love you and take care of you and cook for you and things like that. I do believe
and y'all
that.
normally need a connection to get there.
But
y'all don't randomly do that.
But the times are changing, and I feel like for me growing up, right, I remember people teen pregnancy.
If you giving out community, go get a 501c3 tax non-for-profit and get some damn tax write-off for giving that.
What in the world? I don't even understand what he meant by that. Let me just rewind that. I think that we're almost done with this segment because I just want to get to where he's talking crazy. Then we're gonna be.
For me growing up, right, I remember people teen pregnancy.
If you giving out community, go get a 501c3 tax non-for-profit and get some damn.
Yeah, this is stupid. Let's
tax write-off for giving that.
Dr. Umar.
Put a 501c3 on that vagina. If it's community cooch, call it community cooch and get some tax write-offs.
Dr. Umar, when I was coming up, right, teen pregnancy was a big thing, right? And people was, and for me, it was like, I didn't want to be a hoe. That was my whole thing. I would see girls get pregnant. That scared the shit out of me. I was molested as a kid. I think it scared me from boys in general. I think I lost my virginity at like 18. My first boyfriend bought me a lot of shit. He did for me. I lost my virginity. He cried with me. We both cried. Like we was in love with each other, but I was an adult technically.
Gotcha.
When I look back on that, I regret not being a whore. Like every whore I know now is winning. Like people love whores. Marry their whores. They take their whores places. They do stuff. You know why? Because men like to come. They don't give a fuck about how many you Look at Hollywood. Look how them bounce
Men
around.
don't want the
Men
attachment,
love
right?
whores.
But
Fuck
guess
as
what?
much as you can
Guess what?
today. You
But
might
guess
die
what?
tomorrow.
There's no woman.
Queen Kong!
There's no black woman. There's no black woman.
Fight back.
You can't say Queen Kong. That's Suki Honda title. I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm joking.
That's
I'm joking.
my
I'm
Suki,
joking.
our friend. Suki's a friend of mine.
I'm joking. Listen.
You know Suki from here.
Yeah.
Suki cool. Yeah, Suki.
Here's the thing. Damn, what was you saying? I had an ADHD moment.
I
had an ADHD moment. An ancestral diversion for higher development.
I think men love whores.
Oh. What did
trying to
Tyler
boy
Perry
being a
tell the
whore.
white guy who's suing him? Tyler Perry said, I'm going to take care of you. And of course, this is homosexual, but I'm going to just draw the parallel quickly.
Oh, I don't know about it.
The guy, he being sued for $260 million.
Educate me.
From the white guy from the show that he was, what's the show? Damn, I just talked about this.
You know the actor that's suing Tyler Perry.
The white actor is suing him for sexual harassment.
You knew that.
Tyler Perry.
I did not know. I
But
thought
listen,
Tyler Perry being
listen,
gay was a secret.
Listen. Well, Tyler Perry hasn't admitted he's gay, so
He
I'm
don't say he
respectful.
gay,
He
respectfully,
never said, but the guy,
but he's gay.
He's being
Right?
accused of it, right?
Okay.
But my point is, the guy said Tyler Perry told him, "I'm too busy for an emotional attachment. I want somebody I can take care of, smash and dash when I want, and they keep their damn mouth shut."
Score.
Stay with me. That's what a lot of men want, right? That's what a whore provides. You don't pay a whore to stay around.
You pay her to leave.
You pay her to leave when you're done with